his imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Ice Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. I'm becoming fearless. I'm becoming the darkest night. Gonna let my light shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. I'm becoming fearless. All right, check 1, 2. What's up, everyone? It's your main man, Frank Castle, your sorcerer supreme, right here each and every Saturday night on FearLess, and I'm joined by my etherical translator and co-host, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
How you doing?
I'm good. Rough couple of days, but I'm good.
You went down, huh, right before the show a little bit?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, come sit closer to me.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to get a...
Go get your shine box.
You're so stupid.
I want to say thank you to everyone that's tuning in tonight and joining us. Sorry we're a little messy. We're going to try a little something new tonight. I'm broadcasting with StreamYard, and I wanted to take the show up just a tippity tip. What's up, Fearless family? All right, before we start the show, I would like to just going to share my screen right now. So I want to show you guys something. This, let's see if we could do this. Is it sharing it?
I don't know.
Oh, duh. There we go. All right, cool. Wow. Check that out.
Yeah.
Right there, you're looking at IamWeAreFearless.com. All right, it's the website. Ask you guys go to check it out if you like any of the designs from the website. Tons of different things. Fearless t-shirts, ayahuasca t-shirts, DMT hats, fearless beings, the original Castle-wasca.
I'm wearing my Fearless t-shirt too.
Are you?
Yeah. See?
We have, as soon as they can't see it yet. We have sneakers with Ra on the sneakers. Look at that. Kali posters.
Awesome. Oh, that's the t-shirt that Aaron was wearing.
Yes. Shout outs to Space Jesus. How not to be an NPC. Keep calm and be fearless. You get the point, right? I'm just flopping around tonight. I'll get more streamlined with this as we go. But I just want to, while we do the show, for you to be able to check it out, because I've been talking about it for 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's time to bring that back up and online with everything that we're doing. I want to show you guys because it's important to us. It's important to the artist. Everything that you purchase there, 50% goes directly to the artist, and you're helping support great people. Great people.
You're great people.
You're so cute. You have your little Fearless shirt on.
Yep.
Look at that. Can you show everyone?
Oh, yeah. Well, the DeLorean is in the way. Yes, I have my
Fearless. I'm so glad you have the energy to be with us tonight. It's very important to me.
You don't know. You don't know.
Well, you don't know?
It's been a rough couple of days.
So
we want to thank everyone again for all the donations that were given, because they went to taking care of the stray cats that we have outside. So thank you. and we were able to buy a carrier, a hard case carrier for the cats, from when we have to transport them, and we were able to get everything done. We have last two babies are going to go on the 19th, and then everyone's
And then
done.
they're good to go, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great news. That's great news. Just a little shout out to my cat Buddy. He was attacked by a very large animal.
Yeah.
He's a little messed up. So if you could send positive vibes this way, it'd be greatly appreciated. He's messed up. He's got a tube in his neck.
Yeah,
He's missing some teeth and
he was
a lot
attacked.
of his
We think it
face.
was a dog, and he got a side of his face was bitten into. So the situation got way out of control. He had come. We didn't realize it was that bad because the bite was underneath all of his fur. So then, of course, it got infected, and then he came home the other day, and then we had to rush him to the vet, and they had to perform an emergency surgery on him, and now his side of his face is all stitched up. He's got a tube in his face, so this way they could drain all of the fluid behind the bite, and his whole face is stitched up. He might have partial paralysis. His eye may be sunken in, but he's alive. And we want to thank everyone who already sent prayers, and we just want to thank everyone for the kind words, and please continue to pray for this animal because he's not doing well at all. I mean, he's on a regimen of medications. He's got to take 3 different antibiotics. He's got to do a cream. We have to irrigate the wound. We have to clean it out. We have this
so much needs to be done.
Have to clean out.
You choose to love something.
Yeah, you
another
have to take
being.
Responsibility for.
You have full responsibility. And it's funny, no matter what the price tag is they put on that, your love just kind of like overcomes it and shoots way past it.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
You could do nothing, or you could do something, and we decided to do something. So
and we're making it happen.
He's triaging in the bedroom.
That reminds me, I see Rihanna's in the room tonight. Hold on a second. Blip. Let's share this screen for a second.
Oh, that's so cool.
Check out Woodland Wand Creation over on Etsy.com. That's Woodland Wand Creation. Check out.
Oh, she's got beautiful things. I mean, beautiful.
Yeah, she has wands that are fantastic. They're beautiful. I have 2 myself that are just ass kicking. I saw some post on YouTube about favorite crystals, and I have like selenite and the black crystal. I forgot what that's called. I forgot what they're
obsidian,
called.
Yeah.
And then my birth crystal.
The
I don't remember any of their names, but
peridot.
Yeah, I charge them in the sun. I come in the house. I run ceremony. If I'm holding that in my hand, either one of them, it's deadly when I'm holding 2. It's great. It's like an energy director.
Oh, sure, definitely, it warms up.
Kind of like what Thor's hammer actually is. It's just like a tool.
A conductor, yeah.
Yeah, a conductor to charge and shoot out. And as you learn to grow, you become the crystal. But until then, it's always best to have your tools at hands. So it's Woodland Wand Creation. I love our FearLess family so much.
No, I do too.
The such amazing people doing so many amazing things, and I love to share it. I just want to share it. Share it all. Are you wearing lipstick?
I am.
Oh, it matches kind of everything. Paula and I have been, as we have been going through the upgrades and upgrades and upgrades, we've been hit with a sandstorm after a sandstorm of intense
it's just been bad.
battery, but we're charging and like holding ourselves. We're like rooted in and grounded down. So we come out and we're in sync. We're wearing the same colors, just kind of flipped, or literally the same colors, or I'll have a gray shirt, she'll have gray pants. And then I'll have, the blue and the blue. It's always ridiculous. Reversed.
My sister stopped by before. I said, Frank and I are just going to stop wearing clothes. We're just going to start wearing scrubs soon. Because it's just, I don't know what's happening. It's just as these changes are taking place, it's like things that were important aren't important anymore. Like, soft t-shirts are more important than anything now. you know,
Absolutely.
being comfortable and, you know, like slippers. Like
It's like
the
living
kittens did a number on your slippers. We got to get you
living
some
through
slippers.
in like an ayahuasca ceremony. We tell people dress as comfortable as you
Yeah,
can and
it's like that's
relax.
just how you want to be all the time now. It's very strange.
I want
what's
to go back
happening.
to the Garden of Eden, wear a leaf.
Yeah, I like yoga pants.
We have a question.
Oh, okay.
This comes from Gary. Do you think that the idea of the higher self is part of the matrix trap? That is, it intervenes and tells us what we can and cannot do. What do you feel about that?
I think it depends. I think it depends on who's doing the talking because, you know, we hear, I believe that 50% of what we hear isn't us. Like the thoughts that we have are not our own. So you have to be very careful because, you know, a lot of those thoughts that come in are not your own. You really have to do a very good job of using discernment to figure out whether it is coming from you, your higher self, or whether these thoughts are coming from thought form entities or non-human entities that are putting these thoughts into your head and making you respond to them. So you have to be very careful because most of the time it is a trap. But you have to know,
Now,
you have to get to know
you. So
and
this
know
is
whether or not it is
basically
your higher self.
awareness and discernment. I had to go through this
It
personally.
is, and we had fearless friends that went through it as well. Remember those thoughts that the we had a one of the fearless family members. They were freaking out, and he was believing that everyone was working against him, but he was believing all of the thoughts
The outside
that were coming
thoughts.
in, all of those, all of
They're
the
trying to get
all of
you.
those
They're trying to
thoughts.
kill you. They're trying to ruin your
And
life.
he,
And
and
it's
he
like
ran
nobody's
with
doing
it,
anything.
and he believed it, and he alienated himself from an entire group of people.
See,
So,
separation is what it wants when it's
yes,
not you.
absolutely.
Right? So
it wants separate. It wants you to fight with everyone and did not to have anyone to go to. It's like being in an abusive relationship. They want to isolate you from your friends and family. So you have to use discernment because, you know, everyone can't be bad all at the same time.
all right. So to answer your question on from this perspective, do you think it's a trap? I think it's a question for those who are at the level of trying to
where you are,
understand of where you are, and there's nothing wrong with this, where you're saying to yourself, what is that? What's the other voice? Who's that in my head? It sounds like me. It kind of it doesn't
resonate
it
with
does
me,
maybe
but it
not
sounds like
resonate, but
something
it
I'd
sounds like,
say,
you know,
or it feels like something I think.
you know, a lot of times people do things and then they'll say, well, the devil made me do it, metaphorically. And then they're like, when you really get them and question them and they want to talk to you, they'll tell you, I don't know why I did that. Something happened to me. And in that moment, the voice said, you know, punch him in the face or kick the baby down the stairs. It's like, no, why would you do that? And they're like, I don't know. I thought it was me and I did it and I realized it's not me. It was something else. So as we start this process, you have to sift through that. And it's intense. Excuse me a second. Let me just raise this up. The live thing is hitting me in the head. Nope, sorry. Dummy Frank. There we go. Yeah, so you have to go inside of you. This is how I used to do. I'd go inside and be like, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing from anyone. And I kind of shell myself off inside my field of protection. Then I start listening if it's coming from inside of me or if it's coming from here or here. Where's it coming from? Because I've done a hit of DMT, right? And you can hear me, like I'm listening to me talk, going, oh, there's going to be great, bro, whatever. And then I get there. And as soon as I get there, the me that was talking was this being standing next to me going, whispering right in my ear. And I'm like, oh, you were playing a game. Mm-hmm. And then when I shut that out, the voice stopped because I knew that I was controlling me. That's what I was trying for. I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear just
push that out.
Yeah. I go inside and I'm like, I only want to speak to me, my higher me. I'm grateful for you. I love you, but I only want to deal with you right now. Like no outside forces. And you'll feel, well, I feel when it happens, it's almost like it just comes over me. like a giant outlined version of me, like a bigger version, and just envelops me with love and protection. And if he's speaking directly to me, it should be coming in all the correct centers. You should like I feel it everywhere when I ask a question and they respond to me like yes or no. Or when I say they, I'm sure 99% of the time it's me, right? But it resonates with me. If it's something disastrous or negative or doesn't if it implies separation, that's definitely something else. Anything that implies separation, like, oh no, you're better than that, or you're too good for this, and you're traveling down those rabbit holes. All right, you gotta be careful with that. Discernment's like the first thing I had to learn. I had to stop an ayahuasca session and be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who to trust. I don't even know what this is. And then he said, oh, you lack discernment. They just stopped everything. And I was like, discernment? And the words came right up. And I was like, oh, okay. And it was like learning what that meant on that level. And then having to now go through everything to get me back to, put me back in the test and let me see what I can handle.
That's the hardest part, though.
That was the worst.
Because there's so much.
Who do you trust?
Trauma that happens to you when you're a child and when you're a young adult that you really don't know who to trust or what to trust or what to believe, because you've been told so many different things at that point. By the time you've become an adult, you've been told so many things that conflict with one another,
right?
Because everyone has a different point of view, so you don't know.
So check this out. Here's an easy way. Here's an easy way to discern.
It's hard.
What's your agenda? Even if it's me, what's your agenda? Shouldn't it be your highest, most optimum agenda? Like, shouldn't it be that? If it's anything less than that, and I mean anything less than being totally worthy, it's probably not you. You should know the difference. Like, what do they want you to do? Like, this was my test. So this being came out of the orange background when I was seeing all these colors, and he said, oh, you did all these amazing things today. It was the greatest day ever for you. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. What do you want? Right. And he goes, just you come with me and you do this, you come in here and then you do this and do that. And then you're done. Right. And I said, what do you mean? Do this and do that? What do you mean? Yeah. I go, I not one person here has told me you have to do this, or it's just everything's for naught or whatever. And it was so subtle. It was hard to pick up. And I was like, nah. And it looked like a great being to want to go hang out with. And I was kind of like, yeah, wait a second. Like, you forget, you go right back into the test. It's almost like your gut is like your spider sense is going off, and the higher you can see it. Right. So they're testing it and they're seeing if it's activating and going off, especially if you're asking.
That's right. We were talking about that. Believing in your gut. We're told from the time we're small children to doubt that feeling. So when you say trust your gut, most of the time before something bad happens, we all get that terrible feeling in our stomach and we go through it anyway. And after we go through it, we should have said, I should have listened to myself. And we don't. So, that whole trust your gut thing, that's under there, all the layers of trauma from childhood. Because we are supposed to trust our gut, but we don't, because we're lied to, or we don't trust it and we do it anyway, like what I had said earlier. And now you have doubt because you didn't listen and you did it, and it may have caused a bad situation. And then when we're sick, we take medicine. We take another pill. So you take a pill for your stomach if you don't feel well. You take a pill for your head if you don't feel well. So our stomachs are trying to tell us something. Your gut is trying to tell you something. Don't eat that, or don't drink that, or don't do that because I can't handle it. And we don't listen, and we just take a magic pill and we feel better. So that part of discernment, that whole trust your gut thing, that's all warped out of control because we were not allowed to trust it from when we were very little.
You're right. And you know how, you get into these situations and it's that hindsight thing, right?
How many
where you're like, oh, I knew at that moment.
Yeah. How many times when you were a kid were you told to go sit on so-and-so's lap or go give so-and-so a kiss hello?
And you just feel like,
and you're like, I don't want to. But that's what your parents, that's what your family said. So that's what you did. You didn't trust your gut because your family told you to do something and you had to do it.
and you got to go sit on Uncle Joe's lap, and Uncle Joe, just the smell of him just breeds something disturbing, right? That it's almost like but you have no clue at that time, but something's not right
because your gut is telling you something's not right. But then again, you have an adult telling you to do the opposite thing.
Right.
And then you have authority figures telling you to do the opposite.
So then it's like an initiation
and then you're
through
in
ritual,
school,
right?
Yes. And then you're in school and you're told to do the opposite. And then you meet friends and you're with your peers and you're told to do the opposite. So you never listen to your gut until you get older, until you've already gone through everything that's horrible that can happen to you. And then you say, oh, maybe I should have listened to my gut. And then you take a moment and you step back and you say nothing and you do nothing and you just think for a minute. How is this making me feel right now? And you wait till that question can be answered, and then you move on. You move forward accordingly. It's hard. We have to go against everything that we were we were told.
So you get a womp womp, right? So that feeling, and I'm making a thing going womp, right? Like you're seeing that on the other side, and it's been suppressed for so long that when mine was going off, it was like blinking like a little light, and I'm like, what's that? And then when it goes off and it activates, it like envelops your body. It's like your heart knows up to 6 seconds minimum what's about to come through up at you, whatever situation. It doesn't even matter.
They say physically, yes. And your heart knows 6 seconds ahead what's going to happen.
You get it into the heart, and then you have to like
respond.
It hits your mind, and you're like, what is that? Right. But it also hits your gut, which tells you duck. Right. So, and you don't duck, you get hit with the rock, so that or the tire came flying off the car or something. And you're like, damn, I heard the duck in my head. What was that? What is the sounds? All right. Rocks. Now's not the time for this.
She wants you.
But, all right. So Wendy's asking, how much do you think is tech? Many are people starting to hear voices. Lucid TV is speaking on this as well. Well, I could guarantee you they're using tech. When I say they is going to be an appropriately huge batch of mixture of whatever. You're going to have military. You're going to have every kind of ET. You're going to have anyone with a nefarious agenda at all. The government. Then you have the AI system itself. Okay. Which is going to tell you whatever it wants. Then you have the demiurge system, and it's all part of a system. So it's a program, no matter how you look at it. So how much is tech? Quite a lot of it's tech. We're wearing biological tech, and we are that which is the organic consciousness running these technologies. So you being the creator, you're not only are you the technology, right? So if it's a sound that's being used, you can do that as well. Like anything that is being put in place to talk or whisper or to reflect or refract, whatever, you can overcome all of these technologies within this skin suit technology, being the creator being, by sheer force of your own thoughts and will, right? You can overcome all of this technology just by using your discernment. So you have to keep this clean. So you have a 3-pronged system, right? You get the mind, you get the heart, you get the gut. So if you're getting it 6 seconds heads up and it's coming in, then you have to discern it, right? It goes to your gut and your mind. So it's like you have 3 brains working at once. Someone's looking, going, here it comes, look out. And then your physical mind has to process that, and you either react with a fight or flight or fear or love-based scenario, because it comes from one or the other.
Right.
It all comes from so it's like a 1 and a 0. It's either going to come from here or here, here or here, here or here, and you're going to pay attention to it. It's either going to be this or that, or this or that. You, as the creator, can overcome that. You can literally the 1, 0s, 7 pi teddy bear. You could just boom, 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 recreate the system any way you wish, and let the system figure out how to deal with that. Something that I've been practicing myself. Let's see.
discern. Yeah, we're all see, there's a lot of people in the chat room that is having problems with that specific form of discernment. You hear the voices, you're like, who do I trust? Well, what makes you feel warm? What makes you feel good? What's saying the right thing?
Oh, that was very sweet. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cowboy Chris. You're the man. We love you so
That
much,
was
FearLess.
wonderful. Thank you.
We're
gonna post pictures in the room. We just wanted to give him a day or two. It took him a day to come out of the anesthesia. He just ate a little while ago. I gave him meds, but we'll put some pictures up. You know, it looks bad, but he's gonna be okay. And thank you.
Yeah, that's really awesome of you. I get at a loss of words.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I mean, I can't believe it. And, like Frank and I always talk about transparency. And believe me, when we say this is where the money is going, this is where the money is going. Everything that you did for the kittens and now this for Buddy. Thank you.
The energy is all going to loop back around because we respond. It's a flow of energy.
It's just beautiful. Thank you.
So here, really, I had it with one of my uncles as a kid, found out later he was molested by my cousin. I think everyone has that. I think literally everyone has that, right? So that weird, creepy character.
Sadly, that's the way.
So
that's the way
we're not going to use any names naturally, but there was someone when I met you, through your family, who's not family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That I was like, whoa, there's something weird going on here, and I can't literally stand there.
Oh yeah, you felt the energy. Yeah,
it was so dark, right? But I couldn't exactly put my finger on it, and this, that, or the other thing. And I'm like, wow, just like in my family, we had a couple of creepers, right? My grandfather on my father's side, all the uncles used to have this thing with touching your face. I gotta touch it, right? But they would like fucking rub it and touch it, like I don't want to do it to you because it's really annoying. So when I first met you, I got to pet a cat, right? Like it was first time I'm sitting down. So I pet Oscar like that. And he looked at me like, don't touch me. And I go, I know exactly what you mean. I'm never going to do that again. And I never touched him like that again.
That he didn't like it. Yeah.
It made me remember all the times. It's almost like you're rubbing not only your DNA on me, but the information, you're like dropping it in my face.
Hey, Roxy. Well, I told you when I was I shouldn't even say this on air. When I was little, when we were making a Holy Communion, when we were going to CCD, we used to go into we would have to do have confession, and we would sit on the priest's lap to give confession.
That's just
I never thought anything about it until like 20 years later, and I'm like, yeah, that was a little strange, but never questioned it because that's the way it was.
Right.
So you didn't question it.
Wow, you just.
Yeah, Roxy is just being very aggressive tonight.
Get on camera.
She wants to be on camera. Okay.
So, this is so funny. It's like we're building an army and then they all want to be on TV with us. I love you. Come here. So a couple of crazy things happened this week, right? So discernment, we get to a level where they'll trick you on a level where they'll pretend to me that I'm you, that you're thinking bad thoughts about me sitting there. And meanwhile, you're looking at me with loving thoughts. Right. So it comes in.
Right.
Okay. Then we're like, well, we're going to stop that. Right. We're going to stop those thoughts. I have discernment. Womp, it all goes off. Then you smoke DMT and go in. And then it occurs on a level that you're like, wow. So all the times you work at your discernment piggybacks off the next time until you're capable of discerning the amount of BS. You'll hear someone start talking and the vibration is false.
Oh yeah, you'll already know.
And you'll go,
yeah.
Okay, so
you're not even in the room yet and you know it's
there's a great
it's garbage
meme online with the monkey looking at you like this, right? And it says, bitch, I already know you're lying, but I'm gonna listen to you anyway. Right? That is the discernometer going off on the highest point. And science yourself, because you all know you'll get around people that are BSers and they'll start talking. You'll just walk away now, or you'll just be able to shut the conversation down. Once your discernment gets up high enough, you won't even.
Yeah, I just don't want to listen to it anymore.
Yeah, it's like
Just
one
don't wanna
person
hear
every
it.
time, we do something, or
Yeah, well, you
I
have
get
a
into
friend.
something
You have
with
that
them.
friend every time he comes.
Every time.
there's a major catastrophe in his life, and it's like, Frank, this.
But you give them one
an
more shot
anvil
with
is
this.
going to
No,
fall on your head if you
it's never
talk
going
to
to
him
be
in the
like that.
street.
How are you being treated rationally and reasonably compared to the way, the energy is going back and forth? Is it working with you? Is he BSing you every time you hear it? Does he always need $1, day late, dollar short?
Yep.
Can I get a shirt? Can I get a hat? Can you make me some soup? Can you look? Just sit down and relax, right? If you ain't bringing nothing to the table, you need to get out of here. Then eventually your discernment and your gut is going to be like, no, right? And then you lead to the next thing, which is saying no, right? You get discernment, and then it's like, well, now what do I do with this? And it's like, well, the magic word is no. It's the number one thing you can use to stop things.
That's the hardest. It's
this show for 4 years, 3.5 years.
To say no. Look how long
right?
it took me.
Saying no.
Years. And still I feel guilty, but now it's a lot easier. And you know what? Because you change your frequency and you change your vibration, you don't have to say no as often. It doesn't. When you get good at it, you find less and less times when you have to say no because you're not even approached anymore.
Yeah, but really all you're having to do is stop. But it's a lot of
work to get there.
All the things that weren't suiting you to begin with.
What is not suiting me? What is not suiting me?
Because if you're anything like us, you'll always be like, all right, well, I'll help, whatever. But your time is worth something.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't mean in a bad way.
We don't mean money.
Like, move if you're not going to throw me a 50.
No,
that's not what I mean.
No, like, is this hurting me? Is my involvement with you now going to cause me damage in some way?
Yeah. Is it frustrating me on a point where it's just over and over again? I've kind of had enough, but why am I not saying no? But I seem to be living through this mess all the time. Like, you got to break that. Right. And how do you break that? You don't have to lose your mind and freak out. You can just be like, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah. Just settle. It's just,
listen, you need to come out to the bar Thursday night. We're all hanging out. We'll get together. We'll do some lines. We'll drink some beers. Thank you. No, thank you. That's how I get into trouble every time. Metaphorically, I don't. Right. Or, doing something out of your character to be with people because you want to be with them, but it never suits you, which you always find yourself a dent in your pocket, like $100 down, and not having fun.
Yeah, you didn't have fun.
And then
so you spent all that money, you didn't even have a nice time.
Yeah.
Say no.
Or you've been taken advantage of. Don't worry, she'll cook, she'll clean, he'll do this. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Right. And it's like, all right, I came to the table as well. If you're not going to recognize that, we'll just eat at separate tables. It's okay.
I really like what you did here with this, Frank. It looks really professional.
Shout outs to the paranormal portals. Kevin, you the man. It's my dude. We do music.
I like it.
It's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a new touch, new little flavor. Trying to bring it up a little bit. I'm so not like the other hosts on some of the other shows who can do all this crazy stuff. So I'm like, it looks nice though.
It does. It really
brings things
nice.
up a little bit.
Look, I told you, I don't. If no one ever knew what I looked like or knew who I was, I would be very happy with that. I could live in a cabin in the woods. No one has to know who I am. I don't need internet. I just
lies. No more cabins in the woods.
Though, but that's me. Like, I'm very, me. I'm very in the background.
No, I know.
I don't.
You're the other side of the coin of me.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird. Like, I don't.
Yet at times you talk so much more than I do.
Yes, there are. Yeah. Yes, there are. You have brought that to my attention.
I have Etherical translated for you at times.
You have.
Yes.
You have. And you've been doing it a lot more recently.
So, another thing we've been doing a lot more recently, and you guys, I'm wondering if you've been doing this.
Oh, yes.
This is telltale signs.
So
that you're activating and with your partner or your best friend or
Frank has a friend, Rich. He's a great guy.
Shout outs to my Johnson.
Apparently we were talking about him and Frank was telling a story and we were talking about him and we both at the same time said he's a great catch.
No, he's really smart.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's intelligent. He's good looking.
And he's worldly.
Yes, he's worldly. And then we both said at the same time, he's the total package.
But we said it exactly.
And then there was silence. And we just looked at each other and we were like, do we tell Rich that we both have a crush on him? Or do we just pretend like this didn't happen now? No, he is a total package, but it was so funny for us to say it together at the same time. It was just very strange. So Rich, we love you.
Yeah, shout out to Rich. But this is all right. So the sync up is the first thing you start to notice before telepathy starts going off. Now, there's been a million times, I'm sure, because we play the beer game. Well, it's different here, but you say the same thing. Whoever says beer first.
Oh, it's Jinx.
Or Jinx has to, I'm safe. You got to get the beer. Okay. So that's when you say the same thing at the same time. What happens when that starts happening so much, it becomes laughable? Do you guys you're at a limited word thing and then there's coincidences across the board that you and your partner or friend, whatever, are just saying the exact same thing? Like, what phrase has to come out of your mouth and someone else's mouth that syncs up exactly perfect? Okay, so that's the first thing that happens over and over, right? As the telepathy starts to come online.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're already connected. It's just, where is the connection? Is it from here to here, here to here, here to here, right? And it's just blip at the same time. And I'm sure we're getting on another level that 6 seconds heads up, sitting in it, and the words are flowing. And then at the same time, it comes out.
But think about it. If you just take a moment.
Well,
when someone's talking and you just take a minute and you really listen, like Frank does this to me. Like, I'll talk to Frank. Oh,
April, fearless April.
Thank you.
We love you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I love that picture of the doggy.
Frank
That's
does
so
this
awesome
to me.
I love you so much. Fearless family.
I'll have a conversation and I'll say, I'll probably have talked a paragraph and I'll talk to Frank, and now now it's directed at him, and it's like 10 seconds go by, 20 seconds go by, and now 30 seconds go by, and I'm like, did you hear anything I said? And he said, yes, I did hear what you said, and I'm thinking about everything, and I'm going to comment. Just give me a second. And
yeah, you got to learn how to pace yourself, especially if you're going to have certain conversations with people.
I had to appreciate that, because he really was listening to what I was saying. Here I am thinking like, oh, he's not listening to anything I'm saying. He's just, waving me off, and he's not paying attention, but he actually was. And he was trying to answer me the best way possible.
Intelligently.
But I, of course, wanted it like that. Like, when I say,
and
hey,
I'm
Frank,
internalizing, going, let me think about that for a second.
let me think about it.
All right. So the feeling that comes up right when the word sync happens, there's like a little electrical charge, just a little bit. It's almost like an adrenaline surge of some kind. And then it pops off as you say the word together. I can't believe you said that at the same time. Right. So I'm trying to show like the connection through the feeling, because how the hell are we supposed to get from point A to point B? Do we wake up one day and it's just happening and we're just telepathizing with each other?
I think we just spend way too much time together.
This is what I'm saying. Are we in sync, or are we syncing up on another level?
I think we're just syncing up on another level, because my biggest fear when I had to stop working, my biggest fear secretly was that we were going to kill each other, because we were going to be together too often, too much in the beginning. This is a couple of years ago. And then, to my surprise, that didn't happen. No, seriously, you were thinking the same thing. You were like, oh my God, she's going to be here all the time. She's going to be yelling at me. But that didn't happen. And I was surprised. And then time had gone by, and then more time had gone by. And now it's just like we have this crazy kind of, it's like an ebb and flow.
She's so nice about this, and we say this over and over again, we're going to show by example. right? And we're going to
Mhm.
just discuss it and show how it goes. So it's not just, yeah, of course we're together. We want to be together. Okay, now, people that are together, that's disgusting. Are you syncing up?
What?
Oh, you don't smell that?
Oh, she pooped. She pooped. Is that what's happening?
What do you think?
All right, let me go.
Nasty.
All right, I'll take care of it. Roxy, what did you do, Rox?
But all right, so when these feelings come up, right?
Oh, good girl, Rox.
You'll feel it start to rise. Now it happens so quickly, so it's very hard to recognize.
She wants to take my chair.
And then woof, it comes out, and it'll come out through the excited feeling. As you're saying it, you'll go doo 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 doo. Wow! Did you just think what I just said? And get out of my head. Okay, how many times a day does that need to start happening for you to say, "Wow, something's happening. Something more is happening"? So I'm trying to put it past, like, we are together a lot, okay? But there's a lot of people that are together a lot. So maybe you can answer these questions a little bit better. Yeah, nasty. All right. And when it comes to sharing thoughts, don't worry about people reading your mind. You can, when you're aware of these things as it starts to work, because I've seen this, like if your mind is a compartment or a home with doors in it, as someone is looking, it's almost like you can have all you can have it like glass, so people can see, look, it's transparent. Here I am, right? It's when they go to access certain things, if they're snooping, the more personal and the more private these thoughts are, or what you hold close to you, are going to be deeper in the home, right? And if you have something that you keep to, like Paula, right, she's in the deepest recesses of my heart. Well, you'll find her everywhere in the home. But to find her, to deroot her, let's say, from the home, to see where it's growing from, is going to be in the smallest, most intimate spot, and you'll know that that's there, but it's not going to be readily accessible to you if you try to access it, right? Or if somebody's trying to like push in to look, be like, you can see that it's there, but it's not yours to go in and take a look at those private thoughts or those private things that occur. But you can see that that's the private place, and that's you're just not allowed in there because that has nothing to do with you, right? So it becomes a like a no, don't look. When I was under ire, I went to go look at my grandmother.
Oh, yeah.
I got stiff-armed.
Like, no way.
I turned. I was like, where's my grandmother? I need to see my grandmother, make sure she's okay. And they were like,
no,
there she is right there. And I turned, and just looking to see was putting all my attention on her. And she put her hand out in my face, and she's, get out of here. Mind your business. And I'm like, oh, that's rude. And she's like, I'm fine. Mind your business.
Because
and
it's
I was
her
like,
contract.
I get it.
It's her contract to fulfill.
So at that moment,
life.
I could read minds, or I could look in, and I can do all that stuff.
It's not your business.
It's not your business. So you're not going to look at that. And if you force that issue, there are repercussions. You cross this line, I'll throw you a slap or whatever, hit you with a pie. I'll show you to the door. I'll ask you to leave, all kinds of things. I'll say no. No, thank you. You can't come in here. Try another door. Get lost. Beat it, kid. You bother me. Like, there's a million things you could say. You need the password. Exactly. And you could feel the pushing and prodding on those things, right? So the intent is it's pushing its way in. Like, I'm searching and I'm looking. Like when someone tries to read my cards, and they're like being nefarious about it, a negative reaction. They're like, let's see what he's up to. I feel that, right? And it becomes a push on my energy, and I'm like, what is that? There's someone in here looking.
Yeah, trying.
What are you looking at? Right? It's almost like my head becomes the open book, and they're flipping through pages, going, nah, what is this kid thinking?
Yeah,
what does he think he's going to do? And I'm like, yo, close that book and get lost. Right? And it's your whatever you want to call it. In the beginnings, it's your shields, right? Your aura, you project it outward, your energy, and then you know what I like to do? I like to do that. It's like a mirror ball. Right, where you're inside of it, but anyone looking just sees their own reflection. Yeah. And they can't tell what that is.
That's why I always have the protection up for us. I don't like that. I don't.
But you can feel that occurring. So these are all telltale signs that you're getting a peek or a dip in to the next thing that's going to occur. I can't wait for like some weird thing where I'm like, hey, pass that, and I just pull it out of your hand. Or like you hold it up and I extract it across the room.
Yeah.
because we are in a hologram and nothing's touching. So if nothing's there, it's the old there is no spoon, that's how he bends it. It's not even there. It doesn't exist. It exists because you're here, but in the all moment, right? Being the all, you're in a hologram. So, and you're the hologram. It's you. You are the blade of grass, the sound coming out of my voice, the sound coming out of every voice.
Look, if
the
that's how
crickets,
it's
the
gotta
birds,
be,
the
just make
bees,
it
the
pretty for
trees.
me.
I'm the wood that makes up the desk. I'm the steel that makes up the wall piece. I'm the roof over your head. I'm the lightning that strikes on a rainy night. I'm the breeze that comes through that's comforting and cool. Like, if you're not thinking on that level, you specifically creators, then you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're the entire hologram. You're made up of the entire thing, and the entire thing is made up of you. As a creator, you have full reign of that. This is our dominion. This is our time. Paula would say something like, well, I just want to make a garden and have whatever going on outside. Dominion. It's the same thing. We're born through mother, and we're here for beautiful things. We're here to create. We're here to stop war. We're here to not be part of the game. We're here to uplift. We're here to teach and learn and teach. Recognize there's no separation.
And just tip that scale a little bit. Tip that scale in our favor just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's the thing. Why not us? Why not you?
Yeah, why not you? Why not me?
Why not you?
Yeah.
Why not me?
Yeah.
Right?
You can say, why me? Complain. Why not you? Why not me? Why can't I win the lottery? Why can't I?
Or why can't I learn how to play an instrument? Or speak another language?
Or have a better career, or find the love of my life, or buy the house I want. Why not?
Yeah. Why can't I set these wheels
Why
in
can't I
motion?
have the things that everyone else has? Why not?
These thoughts, so these patterns and this recognition through discernment, everything we're talking about tonight, this all leads to exactly what you guys always want to hear about and always want gnosis about. What's the knowledge? What's the next groovy thing? Okay. When you're the all, Josh and I, shout outs to you, the magician, Josh and Jody.
Yeah, they had their 5-year anniversary. Their book,
You the
book
Magician,
was published 5 years ago. They had a whole thing in.
I got to get the link so we can show that
downtown last week, didn't they?
They were in Washington Square Park, I believe,
reading the book
to a bunch of people. It was great. Shout outs to Josh and we were talking about. Everyone's always looking for that one silver bullet thing, right? But your belief system. It's all like, oh, what Corey Good tells me, or what Frank tells me only, or what this guy over here and that frequency tells me. And it's like, look, you're the all, right? If you're constantly on pace of what's next coming out of someone else's mouth, and you hear it, and then it's what you need, but then you're like, oh, I can't wait to hear what comes out of the next guy's mouth. But you're not implementing those things that you needed. You're just jumping from one thing to another. Why do you do that? Right now, I'm not asking you to answer me, right? Because why would I do that? Right? Well, I'm interested. It's fun. It's interesting. It's good to know. Okay, I'm at a level now where for what I do listen to, or like very uplifting things, things that'll kind of boost you up a little bit. And then I go inside and get the information myself out of me, because those channels are open. So I'm like, I wonder about this. And then I start thinking about it, and I sit there and I ponder and I meditate. And the next thing I know, information starts flying to me. Why? Because that's how it works. You can trust your inside and your internal. If it could steer you away from a bar fight, why can't it steer you away from bad political decisions?
But
or shitty life choices?
Yeah,
or
but that's basically what this whole thing is.
Whether this is a giant game or not,
yeah.
Whether there's life on Mars, whether there's ETs hiding in clouds, whether chemtrails are real. What's the difference of the information if it's all coming in from through? You know what I'm saying? It is a frequency of knowledge. It's all there.
Yeah, you just have to tune some things in, and you have to tune other things out. Yeah, that's basically it. Like we
make it sound easy. It's not easy.
No,
you have to ground
not
and meditate.
Easy at all.
I mean, try.
And you have to trust too.
You have to have faith, and you have to take leaps of faith, and then you're like, well, if I'm taking leaps of faith, doesn't that mean I'm going to be, touched by an angel? And it's like, well, maybe, but maybe not. Maybe you're the angel, and you have to touch yourself. I don't know. There's a million ways this could go down. right? But the one thing, there's a switch that goes off. And when you believe, when you start to resonate with, oh, I'm the creator, right? So if Source takes you and goes, here you go, you're literally me, here you go, free will, I love you. What does that make you? Makes you Source, a little version of Source, right? Oh, well, that's what you are. So what is Source? What is Source? What's the prime creator? What is it? Ask yourself this. They resonate with this. Okay. When you start to resonate with this, you're like, oh, so I'm an ambassador of the all. The birds and the bees and the green and all the things in between. I'm here as a rep for those that can't speak, the kittens and the dogs and the fish and all the different animals and the landscape and the space we live in. Okay, what more? What is that? Well, it's actually you. That's all you. So when you clean up your area, your space, you're reflecting on the cleaning on the inside. By doing the actual work itself is putting you into a meditation of sorts. It's getting you thinking while you're moving, right? If you constantly look at doing laundry and throwing out garbage as a bad thing, you're always going to have a bad time doing it. But if you start thinking and meditating during those times, all of a sudden, all those things are getting worked out. You're doing your breathing, you're grabbing the bag correctly, you're walking it outside, you're happy that this stuff is no longer in my house. When my wife has got to be sitting there and looking at a pile of garbage that she can't lift because it's as big as her, because we have a million things going on, to resonate with what's going on.
Right.
You clean up your space and you're
Right.
like, oh, I feel good. Right? Okay. So when you start resonating with all the information that you hear and come upon, you can sit back and render it yourself. You can go into the white room, the programmer's mind, the higher self, whatever you want to call it, the God's eye, Horus, whatever, the truth frequencies up here, right? You go in and you pull that right to you. What good is the Akashic records if you're not going to access it, right? And what is the creator? The Akashic records as well. If you're a fractal of everything and everything's and everybody's been everything, and we're in that final countdown and this is really going off and it is the one time it works perfectly, what do you think you are? What do you think the grand surprise is? So now sitting in that knowledge, you no longer search and desire. What is Corey saying? What is this other guy saying? What does ancient aliens say about it? And you're not. You'll look at that and still see it and you'll enjoy it and you'll pull it in, but you're not going to wait for next week's ancient aliens to give you the next set of information that you didn't have. You literally can go in and say, oh, life on Mars. I wonder. Let me look. How do I resonate with this? Who am I? Where am I from? Does this exist? You ask the questions. Discernment goes off. You have the clean, clear path lighting your way. You're protected. Your shields are up. You're grounded. You're connected to source. What more do you need? Right? But we wait on the next word. Wonder what he's going to say. Look, we all know it's a game, but you're still wondering what Donald Trump's going to say. You're wondering what they're going to say against him. Are they going to impeach him? Are they going to not? Well, it's a game. So what do you think? Use discernment, creator. Oh, well, this whole thing's a sham. It's all a show. Okay, so what are you getting upset about? Well, I got a lot invested in. What do you got invested in it? What do you got invested in their conversation? That it's really going to matter if it's all a show. Shouldn't you just be taking care of your business yourself and worrying about things yourself? Shouldn't you not be concerned with BS from other BS? And if it's a theater play and they're not even telling you the truth to begin with, and they're not teaching you the truth, they're not giving you the truth, they're injecting poisons into you, they're putting poisons in the, what more do you need? Where do you need to go? You found it. Now what are you going to do with it? You're going to turn into the leader, or are you going to keep jumping to the next thing? You're going to take a bite out of every fruit, but not eat any fruit to help you grow. You're just taking a bite of everyone's stuff. All right, that's good, but what are you doing with it? Right? Are you reading the books, but are you putting it to work? Are you sciencing it, as I like to say? Are you sciencing it?
I do it every day.
I don't know.
You see me.
I do see you.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing bad to say.
No. Nope.
Oh man. So yeah, it's not easy. It's not meant to be easy, but the payoff and the reward is there, and it's oh so beautiful when it happens.
Look, it's the best possible outcome.
Coffee.
We talk about this stuff all the time. You know, this cat, we talk about cats a lot, and you know, basically it's we talk about the cats because we love the cats, but basically it's to tell you that, a lot of these experiences through the stories, through the cats. So, like this whole thing with Buddy, getting hurt, his optimal timeline. We are his optimal timeline. He's alive.
So,
Frank had done Aya.
I had an Aya ceremony last year.
A year ago.
Where during the ceremony, in my experience, a dog, very big one, comes out and kills Buddy.
Kills him.
Right.
This is a year ago.
Shakes him by and throws him, and he's just torn to shreds. And I'm like,
right.
You killed my cat. Not another. Like, I freaked out, and I got up yelling at Buddy, don't go outside. Stay away from the dog. Stay away from the dog.
Right. This is a year ago.
It was a year ago. I completely forgot this.
Now I did not. So now when this happened and, Buddy didn't come, it was like 5 days, I thought it was 3 days, but it was longer because we were on grandparent duty last weekend. So, and then I was sick last weekend. So, more time went by than we thought. And this cat really was sick this whole time and we didn't even really know. And then he left, but he came back. He knew he needed help and he came back. And I believe that Buddy's optimal timeline changed, that we helped it change. And,
somehow something, but something
made it change.
Josh made me think. I said, was it us doing what we did by bringing it out into the open that brought him into the optimal timeline, but still made him get attacked because that's part of his thing? I don't know what that is. Or did we just hold the space and allow him to do it himself, because that is a creator within itself? I don't know, man.
We're never going to know. We're not going to know until after we're not here anymore. But either way, I feel this cat is alive. I don't care if if he's paralyzed on one side of his face. I don't care if his eye sinks in. He's
alive.
I don't care. He's alive. So his optimal timeline changed because it could have went the other way and this cat could have died and we would never have known. So, you gotta, it's manifestation. I believed that we were going to see the cat again, and I believed that he was going to come home, and I believed that whatever he was going to need, we were going to give him. And that's exactly how it's playing out. He's going to get the care he needs. He's going to get whatever he needs. And maybe now he'll be an inside cat because he'll be forced to be an inside cat. So, it's like everyone wins in this situation.
Yes.
I was sick for 2 days. I scared your grandfather. Your grandfather saw me the other day, what I look like. And he goes, "Oh what is wrong with you? You look terrible." And then he pulled Frank aside and he was like, "Paula, does not look good." And she was like, we've been back and forth at the vet. He was under anesthesia so long, they couldn't even finish the dental work they had to do because they were afraid he wasn't going to wake up from the anesthesia. So it was like our baby was, having a surgery and there was nothing that we can do.
So one of the wild things that occurred, so we have Buddy home and he's
he's triaging.
And when he walks around with the collar, he's like bumping into things and I was getting upset. So I'm going to work backwards from the thing I wanted to discuss. The three,
oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to start with him. So I'm frustrated now. You get ahead a little bit in life, something's going to knock you right off that platform. I don't want to believe in that anymore. Like, I believe that the crab in the bucket thing's going to happen. I don't reside to that. But so many times it's like we're building to this experience, but when can we really help? Right now, this is really help because this is what we can do. But supposedly we can heal and hold space and do all these amazing, wonderful things. Eventually, telepathy, telekinesis, on and on and on and on. Fantastic. So I was sitting here crying hysterically. Terrible. Full breakdown mode, feeling just like, and I don't want to sit and blame myself over and over and over and over again. But I'm like, hey, look, we're doing the best we can here. Have I not proven? Where's source? Get me source. I don't want to speak to you. I don't want to speak to my higher self. I don't want to speak to you. I don't want anybody here. I want source. Please, source. And as if, you always get that no response, or you feel you get the no response.
Or nothing. Crickets.
Or nothing.
Yeah.
Say nothing, do nothing, or you're like, nothing's out there and there's nothing.
No one's listening.
No more here. I asked and source showed up. It was the ceiling was a liquid.
Yeah.
Right? And it was golden and it was shiny and stuff. And I said, oh, source is in the room right above me. I talked about this last week, like it being a touch away, like, oh, I could just touch you. And it's like, well, there's no distance. You're bringing it all in. You're anchoring all of this energy. And I said, all right. He asked me what was wrong. I say he, because it responds he with a man's voice to me.
Because it's you.
Yeah. Well, that's
the way it works.
See, that's the conversation I have with Josh. We just go right to, well,
right.
know that's you telling you to do. And I go, yeah, but how do we explain that to people? So they want to know that source is there because it's comforting, because it already saying that there's source and it's not God is already enough challenge for a lot of people to hear.
Right, because it's different for everybody. The way they see it, it's different for everybody.
Right, and if you're seeing it in that separation, see, I don't see it in the separation, but I have to talk about it as if, okay, so source is there, and because it is, but it is.
Yeah, you're there and it's there, but
and I'm like, hey, look, is it? I know I'm worthy. Look at Paula. Look at me. We're doing
everything we can the right way.
How much longer we got to sit in this suffering program? Because I'm not having it no more. We need to help more. Why can't I be put into the game because it is a game on this level? Have I not done enough? Is there something I need to work on? Do I need to empty my bladder again? Do I need to throw up 16 more times? Do I need to, what do I need to do to get this working on a level that can be more helpful than everyone else? Period. I mean, something magical, because I pulled it was like I was pulling my skin off. Like, look, I'm naked in front of you again. I have no beef and no quarrel. I want to get in there and help. I'm going to use anything I'm capable of doing to help. Right. So if I can heal, it's not like I can walk around slapping people, healing them. And it was explained to me, no, look, y'all hold space for each other while the other heals. But there's a point in this where those of us who are at that point will be able to pop into that space and go, you know what, let's accelerate this, and send the energy in. And then you get your water to wine, walking on water, those kind of things. I'm not being that over fantastical. I'm just looking for a speedy recovery from my friend. Right. So what more can I do other than play music and meditate?
Yeah, we got the 528 megahertz on,
like what,
the healing,
I need more.
The healing meditation.
It's my best friend. Every time I claim someone's my best friend, guess what? Someone comes along and ragdolls
tries to
them.
Take them. Yeah.
Come on, give me a break here. Yeah, Paula, after hearing me do the little rant about that, was like, well, you call me your best friend. And I'm like, I know.
Nothing's happening to me. I'm here. I'm good.
You got the shields up. Not everybody gets that luxury, including myself, for a lot of things. That's the one thing I learned. I get slapped around like nobody's business. Right. So source says to me, you're absolutely correct. And this thing came down like I don't know, it looked like a tube of energy. And then I just watched it kind of right here in the room come down and then just attach to me at my taint,
sacral chakra,
my sacral chakra, the underneath, but
sacral chakra.
It didn't feel like, it felt like it connected to the tube I speak about, right? That runs from the top straight down and that you pull in the sunlight and it feeds you. It felt like it connected to the bottom of that tube and it pushed source energy directly through me and it went up the first two. And when it hit the yellow chakra, it started just spinning because my chakras were removed, but I'm explaining to you how the energy ports work. It didn't remove, they fell away. They just, you don't need that shit no more. And I was like, wow, that's great. But it's there, it's spinning, and I'm like, oh, there's a blockage from here to here in my energy ports. Okay, can we get rid of that? And what was that? I was told to stand up. Now, Paul is talking to me the whole time. And I don't remember what you were talking to me about, but it was basic stuff for around the house. We talked about Buddy. Oh, no, we were talking about Buddy.
Right, and what we had
And
to
what
do,
we had to do.
we have to use these special dishes because he's got the cone on. He can't eat without.
And she's like, "Can you hear what? Are you
Yeah,
listening
you're
to what I'm
listening to
saying?"
what I have to say. This
So
is
I have
important stuff. We
my
have a
hands
checklist
like this,
of all the stuff we need for
and
Buddy.
all I see is Source, the thing, and the this, and I hear her, and I can hear, instead of seeing her as a character, it was like a vibration. And when she talked, her voice was activating this whole thing, almost like it was my turn to get the activation, and she was going to be like a ground wire to me.
Yeah.
But she was also the activation port. So she was, and I was like, yes, I hear every word you're saying, but I can't believe what's happening around me.
Yeah.
And I was told, stand up. And I'm like, how am I going to stand up? This thing's killing me now. I'm holding my stomach. I'm sitting on the chair. It was like a hand came out, pulled me up. And I got up. I reached up with my hand, got pulled up, was standing right here in the living room. And I was crying, like, forget it. Crazy crying. It pushed up. It went into my heart. My heart started, it hurt so bad. I was like, what is that? And then it moved up to my throat. My throat got big. It felt hoarse for a second. I was like, what's got up into my head, my mouth, my brain was womp, womp, womp. And then now I'm going to show you what it turned me into. This is what I literally looked like, except it was layered. So what I'm going to show you would be, I would be standing in that. And then all around me, it would be like a birthday cake building bigger and bigger. I could not believe what I was seeing, but I was believing it because I was seeing it, and it was me. I changed from me as this energy came up into this. All right, so let's share the screen. Blip. That right there. I was literally became that. And there was a being, the light was in the middle. Remember I said I'm completely getting cleared out.
I remember. It was the other day.
I said my heart hurts. When it was all done, I could just see this, and it was emulating everywhere, and the energy was going in every direction. And I said, oh, it's like layered. It's like the top of the Aladdin, like a tower in Aladdin.
Yeah.
Like the top of them. I said, it looks like that, but then there's a bigger one under it, and then a bigger one like a birthday cake, and I'm standing in it, and it's just really activated, and I feel light. I stopped crying. I purged a little bit. I coughed.
You did.
Yeah, I did throw up, and I did do all that. It was really, really a mess. But then the outcome was that. So I go from this crying mess to having the ability to getting up and running around the house, doing everything I had to do.
Right.
I started full of energy, felt super light. I sat in the other room with Buddy. I meditated with him. I did my breathing techniques. I brought energy in. I touched them. I rubbed them. I was telling everybody in the house how much I loved them. I was holding them. I was kissing all the cats. And I'm like, this is different. What's going on here? What's happening here? And they're like, another level. I go, my heart still hurts. It's like a sharp pain. They said, you changed frequency again. Right. Now you're up at the new frequency checkpoint. Right. And now your heart has to do the change. Right. Whenever I take
it's a physical catch up. Your body has to catch up.
It's in time. But see, the higher in frequency you are, the quicker it can render itself. Right. So it's like a rendering a video. All you do is when you put it up on YouTube, if it's in 4K, it takes 5 hours sometimes. Right. Right. But if it's 720 by whatever, 300 and something, it renders quickly. And in 10 minutes, the video's up and it starts playing. It's the same exact concept. As above, so below. We're in the mirror reflection, and the reflections we hold. Let me switch out of this. We hold the mirror for each other. And there are things around us that hold the mirror, but it's a mirror reflection from as above to what's below, right? So it's all there, right down to the wire, to everything from the atom to whatever smaller than the atom to whatever smaller than that to the greatest thing out there. And guess what? There's space. Things aren't touching. When you shrink down to the space in between the atoms, it's just as far as from here to the sun at that level and that perception layer. So what is going on here? It's just one giant holographic projection. And as you clean and clear out your inside as the creator, it reflects outward. So as you clean up you on the inside, you start projecting out the reality you wish to manifest.
Right.
Ha. Ha. What do you think about them apples?
I was there. I
was there. I saw it. I saw
witnessed
everything.
I was there.
You know, okay, so 3 times this week, Paula, that was one. That was the last one, which was the big one. That was huge for me. That was like a solo project, but you were directly like, it's your turn, do it, right? And that is what activated the whole thing, going back and forth during the crying fit, during the this, during the that. But so there's a million modalities apparently as you can do this to connect now. I haven't even had a thought of drinking ayahuasca because now I smoke weed. Yeah,
you can connect.
And I connect.
Yeah.
I never really did this before.
Because you don't need the Aya. She's always there now. Because you've had her. She's a part
she
of
keeps telling me all roads lead to the same source. Right. And you are becoming me.
Because weed is a plant.
Because that's mother. You know, we're growing up to be little versions of that great soul, which is already there. We're just revealing it. It's like we're coming up through and we're going to blossom into our own tree of life here, which is representative of her. Right. And as above, so below, you're a piece of source taken off, you know.
So people in the chat room are having similar situations to you too, similar insights to you as well. That's
pretty intense, right?
Yeah, because we're all going up in vibration and frequency.
It's happening. It's never not happening. Now, here's a bigger thought. So you're like source and all and this. Listen, all means everything. Not some things, not a couple of things, and definitely not a few things. It means everything. Because on a higher level, you can walk out a source and it's the next octave, right? Which will have a new source. You know, so that's why I say prime creator. So at the top of the food, whatever that is, whatever reality you pop out in, prime creator, prime source, it's that guy. It's the one, right? Wherever that is, because I've walked out of source into the next octave and woke up in a tank. But as waking up in that tank, there's still a source energy animating whatever's there that you're part of. So it's as above, so below, as above, so below, as above, so below, as above. And it's infinite. It's like a creation that's unfolding upon itself, and each little circle is a fractal of the creator, right? And it changes and morphs and twists and comes back up and does it again within itself. So you can't really get a that one thing like, bro, I got it. You're never gonna get it
because it's never one thing.
It's not one thing. That's why all is the best. Right. So I was looking at Josh going, so all, he goes, what is all? It's just a made up word anyway. We were going back and forth.
They're all made up words.
They're all made up words. But I was like, oh, the A stands for all, means everything. Right. And then the one meaning me and you. I am, we are. Right. So it's just another version of that. Right. So to just blast through the BS, just all. Right? Yeah, of course I'm the all. Of course you're the all. I see it in you. You see it in me. We're all connected. All. I've been that. I've been this. I've been you. You've been me. All. I'm the sky. I'm the ground. I'm the dimensional frequency barrier. I'm Paula. But I'm Frankie. Right? So to get out of that, it's just all. So now different modalities are opening up on the new frequency levels that we're hitting. So smoking a little weed, all of a sudden you're transported into a DMT experience if it's really strong. Because I noticed, I'm just be honest, I took a hit from you and it was like you knocked me out of my body.
Oh yeah.
And I fell back on the couch and was like, I couldn't look up at you.
No.
You were climbing on top of me like, hello. And when I opened my eyes, I'd have to close them because it was clearer with my eyes closed than with my eyes open. And this frequency of energy was just like as if golden light. I've talked about bringing down the golden room around us lots of times, but I think we're just accessing a frequency barrier. Once you pass that barrier, it's the new thing that's there because it's there. It's not like it's not. You know, it's not. So when I smoked with Meg, or when she was here, she was eating the fruit, and then she was like, "Dude, we're having this fruit from the tree on the high level, and then we come down and we're in another spot, and it's kind of like technical looking. There's a lot of tech, and then there we're on like tables and computers, and then we're having the fruit
because it's all true."
And then here in the living room,
we're having the fruit
passing out on the floor and you're handing me the fruit. We're going back and forth.
Right.
So it's overlay after overlay up to the optimum timeline, down to the whatever timeline. It's what we decide to access and go for. That's why there's no really wrong answer. But when some people dance around certain things, I don't even bother anymore. You know, like, is the earth flat? Does it really matter? If it matters that much to you, then fine. Go try to prove it or disprove it, whatever you want to do. But don't drag me into it. Because I personally don't care.
Right.
Because I'm too busy working on the stuff that matters. If they've always been lying to you and they're all lying, then why are you trying to deconstruct the lie and try to find who put the lie in a play?
You already know it's a lie.
You already know it's a lie. So what are you wasting your time for? Unless it's your purpose to dissect the lie so you can show to people. So, you know, it's why they keep making JFK movies, right? Like on who shot him and whatever, and everything is different. It's just your take on it and how you dissect it. So there are people that do that. And then there are other people that just regurgitate nonsense constantly. Right. So I just don't want to hear about it no more. So what do? I just thank you. No, thank you. Right. I change the channel. I don't let it trigger me. I don't, you know, and I don't judge you for doing it. I just say, hey, man, there's a lot of better other things you could be doing, internal exercises to get that stuff done. Because if you're just shouting on Facebook about it all day, nothing ever gets done. You're just basically talking to the choir. Why doesn't anyone listen to me about chemtrails? Well, because everyone here agrees that chemtrails are there. Doesn't matter. You're only talking to 2,000 people out of 7 billion people.
Yeah, who agree with you.
Who all agree with you.
Already agree with you.
And the ones that don't, you've been busy. You've been
it's like when you have
waiting to just boot off your friends list because there's nothing better to do during the day.
It's like when you have that conversation with your friends and you're agreeing with them and they still want to argue their point. And you're like, but I agree with you already. You don't have to go through the argument. I'm already in agreement with you.
Right. And
but
you
they
feel
just
like
want to make the argument. And
then you feel like, well, this is wasting time. It's like a precious time thing for nonsense.
They want you to listen. And so you either do or you don't.
Right. So you're starved for attention.
I don't think it's that. I think people just when they I think it's like us. Like when we find something new out and we science it and we put it to test and we know it's working. I mean, honestly, like the manifestation since this cat went to the hospital, like, I mean,
no,
it was the best case. It was the best case scenario all the way around. Everything's just working out the way it's supposed to, you know, and that's all I can ask for. Best case scenario. Look.
But how do you achieve best case scenario? This is what you got to hold the frequency, the vibration.
You have to hold the frequency, open-mindedness. You have to stay on the side of hope, and you can't live in the side of fear.
Right. You can't tell me I'm not worried, and then you're sitting there and you're worried internally, but you're showing a poker face on the outside.
Look, we could have spear spiraled down with this cat, right? When we got him. I mean,
I was ready to.
First look at him, I was like, I said to Frank, don't even look closely at him. Because he looks bad. Just look at him, but don't examine it because it looks worse than anyone can imagine. But, you know, this is again, we talk about it, moments in time. This is a moment in time. And however many moments it takes to get this cat better, that's as long as it'll take. And until we go through those moments, we won't know how long it's going to take. You know, we had the same problem with the other cat, the Gandalf, the one with the eye. You know, everyone thought, oh my God, he's gonna have to have his eye removed.
Right
just
before the show started that one night, I looked at the eye and I said,
Yeah.
that eye's falling out of her head.
Yes.
She's gonna lose the eye on the floor.
And what did I say?
But she was flying
What
through
did
the
I
house
say?
like it wasn't
Just
hurting her.
give me a moment. Just give me some time. And
Everybody said, take the eye. Let's take the eye.
Let's take the eye. I said, just
euthanize the cat. Take the eye.
Give me some time. And one day, and then the next
now
day.
She looks like Nick Fury. You know how the eye is just gray, but it's there. And
she's not going to see.
You could see it moving.
Look, she's not going to be able to see. If she sees, it's going to be cloud.
Yeah, but it's not a hindrance.
No, she's actually the most aggressive kitten we've ever had. So she's very aggressive. She doesn't let anything. She's like me. She doesn't let anything stop her. And it's definitely not even a hindrance for her. It really is.
And she loves.
But it's the same thing with Buddy. So you got to take it one day at a time. Of course it looks horrible. Of course it's going to be, tragic and traumatic. But, and I mean, believe me, I felt it. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get through it. But I said, 1 hour at a time. I just have to give myself 1 hour at a time to put myself together, to make sure I do what I have to do for me, because I have to be here for that cat. That cat's got a regimen of medicine that he needs every day, and I have to be the one that's going to give it to him. So, I could cry and I could be upset and I can say, why did this happen to us? But you know what? It already happened and the cat is alive. So now we just put our big girl pants on and we do what has to be done. And that's the way I see it. And I don't see it any other way, and I think Frank gets it. Like, there's no other way. What are the two of us going to completely fall apart because this is happening? No, we have to get through it. We have to get through whatever it is, whether it's a sick cat or a sick kid, or, your car breaks down, or you need rent money, or whatever it is. You're going to get through it till the next thing, because there's always going to be something. Always going to be something. Christmas is coming. And then
I said, we finally got ahead in this world.
Yeah,
and
now
Christmas is
and
over.
I said, Frank, no Christmas.
Like,
Christmas will still come.
So then we immediately we were like, it was just like
don't
a
worry
random
about Christmas.
thought.
No gifts for Christmas.
Came out.
Buddy is alive. That's my gift. Don't worry about something that's not happening yet. You could put put those things into perspective. What's important? A pocketbook?
Yeah, none of that's important.
We don't need that. I don't need anything.
My best friend is here.
But this is the point. So now you can ramble because you're nervous and you can say the things you have to say. And he did. And then once we got the cat in the house, it was, okay, let's get the rubber gloves on. It's time to do what we have to do. And that's what it comes down to in your life. Everything is a distraction. Every single thing is a distraction, because if it wasn't a cat, it would be the parking ticket at the vet. It would be arguing with a family member over not being able to we had prior commitments that we had to cancel because this was happening. I was supposed to go over with the grandparents and we couldn't do anything. I had the plumber coming. I mean, the day that this cat decided to come home, the plumber was here. I was in cleaning kitchen cabinets, Cloroxing them. We threw out, because every month for recycling, we try to throw stuff, give stuff away, donate, or get rid of stuff.
You put stuff out in front of the house, it's gone in 20 minutes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was going through kitchen cabinets, getting rid of some other coffee cups and dishes and stuff like that I could get rid of. And on top, like, everything was on top of everything else. But what are you going to do? You do one thing at a time.
I'm looking at the screen. I have everything on the 49-inch above my head. So I'm looking up and then looking down at the comments and the next thing that we're going to do. My apologies if it's taken away from you, Mr. Kevin. My apologies, but I'm getting ready because we got some awesome stuff to show you. But all right, so another question.
Okay.
Let's see if it fits on screen. Frank and Paula, how does one integrate, accept darkness, bad things, and carry it with oneself for the rest of one's life with oneself? To every of a darkness to bear on one's soul. What do you do with it? Well, I'm going to let you answer this one because I already know what I'm going to rant about, and I'm going to use the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Get rid of that dog shit.
Little by little, you just let it go. You don't need it anymore. So if it was something that happened with you, to you, someone that wronged you, some sort of trauma from childhood or recently, and it's with you, it may always be with you, but you're going to have to find a way to let little pieces of it go, because it will eat at you and it will change your life. It will make your life very difficult to get through. So if you have darkness around you and there's nothing you can do, you can put up your protection. There are things that you can do, but you do have to transmute, and you do have to get rid of some of that stuff. You can't keep it all because it is too heavy.
Coming from
and you will get sick.
Coming from like, if the dark, you are the darkness, just letting you know, and you're the light, right? So, and you're everything in it, so that it's okay, it's all right, right? So accepting that and understanding that situations arise that cause you to learn lessons during experiences, right? And if it's actual darkness following you and you can't get rid of it, and you're like, I can't get rid of this, you'll never get rid of it. Right there. Just saying that. I'll never get rid of this stuff. It's just always with me. I'm a bad person, and You can't do that.
No.
You have to start with, we're going to do this.
Little by little.
I don't care what it takes, but you're not.
Because that battle has already been lost or won in your head. It's like
as soon as the first comment.
Yeah, when you receive bad news, like an illness, you've cancer patients, 50% of cancer patients win that battle or lose that battle in their head. It has nothing to do with the medication. It has nothing to do with the support system. It's what you believe. Do you believe you will get better, or do you believe that you will get worse? And it's the same thing with darkness around you.
Can
darkness
I overcome
in your family.
this?
You have darkness, you're living in a building and you're surrounded by darkness, or you're surrounded by dark people in your family. You little by little have to start transmuting and letting that go. You
have to. It's the way to do it.
Done bad things, or if you've been the recipient of bad things that have been done to you, little by little, you let it go. You have to forgive yourself for things and that's the hardest thing, because it's much easier to forgive other people for shit that they've done to you. But it's very difficult for us to forgive ourselves for what we have allowed people to do to us. But you do it little by little. It's like, I talked about it in previous shows, looking in the mirror and saying, I love you when you're brushing your teeth. And you can't say I love you. You can say I like me. If you can't say I love me, you can look in the mirror while you're brushing your teeth and you can say I like me. And if you can't say I like me, you can say not bad today. It's not bad today. You have to start from somewhere.
Or I like that shirt and it makes me feel good when I wear it.
Exactly. Little by little.
This is my good side. Take me from the good side.
Yeah.
Look at that. I like that.
Yeah. And then.
Right. You start with the smallest concept.
Yeah. Some way to get in, to get back to yourself. That's what you have to do.
And by saying, oh, I can't because it's too dark and it's too this. If every person that says that, I'm going to show you another person that just says that. It's always dark. It's always, I could never take away how dark it is to you, but I can assure you that I have some dark stuff, really dark, and I had to overcome it. And it's your will to want to. And I feel terrible of those people I punched maybe in the face, got a tooth, knocked the dude's tooth out, right? And then feel weird on the reverse when it's the guy that I see that knocked my teeth out, right? Like, it's like, whoa. And it's like, look, man, let's kind of just let it go, chalk it up to experience, right? And I got to learn to, like, I can't have this weight on me. I can't live here with that weight. I can't produce what I'm here to produce. I can't create. I can't be me, real me.
You have it with you, no,
right?
You can't.
And you just and as these layers go,
pieces of it go,
you start to feel better. You do. It's how it works. And then you claw out of it and you pull yourself up. And you say it. I am going to do this. I do love myself enough to do this. And if you're like, no, then you are causing that issue to stick with you and not to heal, because you can't face it and you can't do anything with it. So an answer from me or Paula or anyone else would never help you in any situation. You could have the Pope come and tell you, Jesus from space could come down and tell you the same exact thing, and you would still go, no, but still, because you're running the program. You have to break it. You have to break out of the cycle and the loop.
But that's why we're saying just a little bit, like whatever it is, whether it's trauma or whether you caused someone trauma, you're still walking around with it. But you have to let little pieces of it go. Little pieces of it go. You know, don't feel the need to repeat the stories. Those stories aren't who you are. You see, it's the truth.
Absolutely. Right. And we could
They're
dig
not
into
who you
this
are.
from all directions and from all sides. But when it comes down to it, you have to just say, I had enough. Right. Like, well, I know the deep, dark secrets. Well, you know what? Yeah. It's making it difficult to live. I kind of had enough. Right. You have to release it from you, the bondage, whatever that chain is that's binding you. We talked about this on many radio shows that you go under ayahuasca and they'll show you that you're like the eagle, and then you're like, look, I'm an eagle, but I'm chained to the rock. And then Io will go, you're holding the chain, let go.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh,
I realized it.
shit.
I played the whole thing out in front of everybody on TFR years ago. I had the key to the cage that I put myself in years ago. And once I realized I had the key, I used it. And I turned the key and I let myself free. And it was the strangest thing because it took probably a year after I realized I had all that power in my hands to begin with. It took me a year before I did anything with it. It was a very hard and difficult thing to realize.
It's difficult to pull the trigger on all that stuff. Right? Like the all thing. Like, when did I start feeling that other than just talking about it?
But it's
the other day I finally felt all. I felt it. I knew I have felt it before. I've had incidents where blah, 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 blah. No, I woke up this day and said in the sun, it's me, sun, it's the sun. And I've been saying that every day and then I just felt it. And I was like, whoa, the connection's there. And it's like, yeah, you have to believe and take the leap of faith. You have to do the thing that you're like, nah, that can't possibly be it. It's like, well, have you tried? You're just saying it can't possibly be it, but we're telling you that's what works. Or it's one way to find the locomotion to get you into the place that you need to be, so you can start the production to purge it, get rid of it, or accept it, transmute it.
Or just look at it in the face and say, look, that's the way it is. This no longer serves me. You know, we don't have to, we don't have to forgive other people for the things that they've done in order for us to have a good life. We have to forgive ourselves for those things. Nowhere is it written, truly. And nowhere in the guidelines of the universe do we have to forgive other people. No. But we do have to forgive ourselves for the part that we played. You do. Because it will slowly eat at you.
And we're also, how do I say this? So we're all wearing the mask for the character that we need to be to help the being in the situation that we're contracted to do. So, like, my father doesn't internally hate me on the high level. He loves me, but his job, his purpose, regardless, it was contracted perhaps for him to be here and not be with me and not be my friend and show me all this other stuff. So then later on, I can turn around and go, well, I don't like any of that. And I'm not going to be that because I'm the guy that's going to pop off. So my personal relationship to him is crappy, so I can learn to grow, so I can come through the trauma, transmute it, rise to the top, become a better dad than him, and also be forgiving and understanding and compassionate, making you in the higher frequency. That's it.
I'm just going to check the cat. I think he's stuck. He's got a collar on, so I want to make sure.
Right? It doesn't matter. You wear the mask. Listen, you are a creator having experiences, and that's it. That's what this comes down to. Yes, it's not who you are on the inside. Yes, it might have been something you've done, but no, it doesn't make you who you are, and it doesn't make up all the things that like, I don't know about you guys and stuff and girls, but I like my darkness. I like it because without it, I wouldn't be able to whip your ass if I had to. Like, I wouldn't have been able to go to jail and be locked in a cell with everyone that wants to beat me to a bloody pulp and sitting there and be like, well, if it goes down, because I'm in here, so it went down to begin with, right? And my darkness helped me through that. I understand moving through this area, you know, the white bald headed dude coming down is just asking for trouble, you know, and then don't worry, I got this. If it goes down, I can, you know, and you learn all this stuff. It's like the common sense of the darkness, the unwritten rules of the road. It's like you got to learn this stuff. In one fractal, they had me hanging children and murdering them with my crew in front of their parents. And I was like, who's that guy? I'm going to go beat the crap out of him right now. They're like, dude, that's you. And he looked at me and I was like, oh, that's me with hair. And he had like this mess of hair and he was like, he held a sword. And I was like, you come over here. And he's like, you come over here. I went right up and I said, that's enough. What are you doing? And he's like, and I seen that he was actually a loving father and all this weird stuff. And I'm like, well, he thinks he's great. He's seeing that he's killing infidels and demons. It's part of the job to him. And I'm like, but then at home, he has all these great morals. And I'm like, well, that's not good. I don't like what you're doing, but man, I'm sorry. This is me. I was like turning around. Like, I'm sorry. This guy's me. I'm sorry. I did this. I'm taking responsibility and I am sorry.
Right.
I don't want to do this. And then I saw that he was me at one point. And then the other guys that were there, the other people, I was the kid hanging, getting cut by me, as well as all the other kids, as well as the parents watching. I played the role of every single one of them.
Right.
So then it was like, oh.
So you see what you said, you played a role. You played a role in every single one. So anytime you start a conversation off with even if, yes, everyone is allowed forgiveness. That's the rule. That's the way it is. That's human life. We're given free will. We're given. I just want to finish up. We're given free will. Okay. And a lot of the scenarios that play out in our lives are not specifically for us. A lot of the scenarios that are played out because it has to do with the other people that are involved. Okay. So anytime you say, even if, it doesn't matter, it's self-forgiveness. It's you having to forgive yourself for whatever transpired. Okay. It has nothing to do. And Frank and I were talking about this the other day, and I want to make this very clear. Whether it was a fatal mistake or a senseless mistake, or you took your eyes off the wheel for a second, or whatever it was, it doesn't matter. There are a lot of other things at play in the universe. We have contracts this is what I believe. We have contracts that need to be fulfilled in this life. We contract in what's going to happen. We are also part of other people's contracts. Now, I'm not saying this to make anyone feel better or worse about any of the situations that they're in. But a lot of the things that happen in our lives, we're meant to play a part in other people's lives to help them fulfill their contracts. Okay. So you can't say because your mistake was greater than my mistake, you deserve to be less forgiven than I do for something, because we can't weight it. It's not on a scale of 1 to 10. How terrible was your mistake in comparison to my mistake? It doesn't work like that. It's your life. So it doesn't matter what the mistake is. It's the way in which you're going to get past that mistake. It's the way in which you're going to pick up the pieces of your life and move on within your life and not let that mistake destroy the rest of your life. You can be a creator. You can pick up the pieces after any mistake has been made, because chances are given every second of every day. We have chances that we're given. We have choices that we make every second of every day, but every other choice is already played out. So don't weight your level of fear or trauma against anyone else's level, because it cannot be weighed like that. It cannot be weighted. It cannot be it cannot be compared that way. You can't say that your loss is less or greater than someone else's because of the type of loss that it is, of the type of trauma that it is. So don't even compare it to anyone else's, because it's yours and it's yours alone. And if you want to reach out personally, we can talk about it more, but you have to forgive you. It doesn't matter if other people don't want to forgive you, if you don't want to forgive other people.
It doesn't matter if the whole world classifies you as something.
You have to forgive you. And of course, it's not going to happen overnight, but little pieces, little aspects, little pieces of it, I'm sure you can let go and you can forgive. Because remember, we need to play a role in other people's lives so that they can fulfill their contracts as well. So I hope that helps a little bit. It's not about blame, and it's not about the weight or the amount of blame, because it doesn't work like that. It has nothing to do with that. So just please understand that you're worthy of having a wonderful life, no matter what mistakes you've made.
And you're allowed to make mistakes.
And that's just how I feel about that.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. What was the next one?
They weren't questions. They were actually accenting everything that you were saying. Thank you, Nature's Way Glass.
No,
Muy apreciado.
You know, that's the one thing I had to realize. Like,
thanks.
I always used to say, well, I don't have kids and I'm single. So, I don't understand. And, your grief or your loss or your hardship must be harder than mine because I'm single and I don't have children. There are two things that can't be weighted. It doesn't matter whether you have a cold and someone else is going through the loss of a parent. It doesn't matter. It can't be weighted. You can't compare yourself to anyone else. You can't put your grief in anyone else's. You can't compare it to anyone else. It doesn't work like that. There aren't buckets, that you put in and you're like, you can compare your grief on a scale of 1 to 10. It doesn't work like that. Or whatever you think was wrong or your darkness or whatever your fear is. It shouldn't be compared to anyone else's because it's yours and yours alone. And
we're all in here in our own universe.
Look, it doesn't matter what like I said, it doesn't matter what it was. I understand it's hard to accept it, but you're going to have to find a way to slowly forgive yourself.
You got to think about everyone else that has accidental this or that happens. They have it just as bad. And if you can't compare it, right? So accidentally killed the baby, accidentally killed the dog, accidentally killed the bird, locked the cat in between the two doors. The cat had a heart attack.
Yeah,
it's my best friend.
My aunt did that. My aunt accidentally killed my cat. She's not a horrible person. The cat was nervous. She got stuck between two doors. She had a heart attack. Another cat got stuck between the same two doors. She just waited until someone opened the door. That cat in particular couldn't handle it. But I couldn't harbor resentment against my aunt for killing my cat. She didn't do it on purpose.
Right.
And it was very difficult for me because something I loved wasn't there any longer. But, you have to, please, I would never say anything, and I think people that know me long enough to know I would never say anything to make someone feel better. I wouldn't do that. That's not what this is about, but you have to find a way to forgive yourself for that. However you have to go about it, whatever you have to do. You have to take the necessary steps to go in the right direction. You're not that story. That's not your only story to tell. If I went by what I thought my story was 20 years ago, I would be living a completely different life. It's just not that way, and I won't let it define me. So I don't reach a level because you can't let it define. We almost killed this cat by accident because he came in. And I didn't realize how sick he was. Do you know how horrible I feel? I didn't realize underneath all that fur, he had been attacked. I let that animal go back out sick because I didn't know. Time heals all wounds, except these crazy eyes. Okay, but I got a chance. The cat came back. This cat's gonna be going to the doctor for months. And you know what? It's okay because this is what we have to do. We took on the responsibility. Now we have to play it through. I had an opportunity. I could have said, well, you know what? Put the cat down. We don't want the cat. Okay. But that's not happening. Okay. So, look, every other scenario is going to play out anyway, whether you realize it or not. So cut yourself some slack and let some of the pieces go. Let some of the pieces fall away that you can. And whatever you can't, you can work on little by little every day. Because it's not the what. It doesn't matter what you did. I have a friend who is in who was incarcerated because she killed 2 elderly people. She's a mother of 3. Okay? Bad things happen to people all of the time. Okay? You know, and you have to find a way to forgive yourself about that. You know, and I'm only sharing that because you know, it's almost like you want no, I don't deserve to be forgiven, or no, I'm a horrible person. These are circumstances in life.
Yeah, and
they're circumstances.
Breaking through,
you know?
this is part of the thing we talk about, breaking out of layers and breaking through things to get to the new thing and hit the checkpoint. You're not going back. Like, you can forgive yourself and still have a full understanding and gnosis of everything that happened, and still not work your way backwards into that energy, and still have been remorseful and repentant and did whatever it is you feel you need to do, which is necessary. Because inherently, there's no, I don't want to say it like there's no good and evil. There's just stuff, and then stuff goes on.
Look,
and then
exactly.
we attach a vibration, frequency, word, definition of something to it,
based off of prior experiences. So everything that you do is a reaction from something that happened to you when you're from when you were little, from when you were young, what you were taught when you were young, how you were programmed from when you were little. Okay, so you know, you can beat yourself up about it, and you can, you know, want people to make you feel like a terrible person. You know, there was this thing going on when I had met Frank. No one's respecting me. And it was a brief period. No one's respecting me. No one's giving me respect. And I said, you know, Frank, the more you're telling me that people aren't respecting you, the more people will continue to disrespect you. And he was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. This is the way it is.
Yeah,
and
it was before I knew that spell casting was what it was.
Right. And then, you know, we tried it. We scienced it. Frank scienced it. He did a little experiment and it worked. And then I said, you know, okay, now try to implement this into your daily routine. And it was difficult in the beginning. He didn't want to do it. But then once he started doing it, he started realizing that people were responding to him in a completely different way. And It was a wonderful thing, because it was a wonderful thing for him. It ended up being a wonderful thing for me, because I didn't have to hear every day, people don't respect me. Because the more you say it, the more the universe gives you what you ask for.
Oh,
You're asking for people not to respect you. You're asking for people not to forgive you. You're asking for people to hate you because you hate yourself and you don't forgive yourself and you don't respect yourself. So you're asking the universe to give you all of the things that you don't want, because this is what you're putting out. Because it doesn't matter what you say. It matters how you feel. So you can say to everyone every day, I'm fine. But if you don't feel fine, the universe is picking up on how you feel, not what you say. When we don't have enough, we'll never have enough. We'll never get to go anywhere. We'll never have nice furniture. We'll never this. Well, the universe says, okay, this is what you're wishing. Your wish is granted.
There'll always be a friggin' complication.
I'm putting you in a scenario where you'll never have enough. I'm going to put you in a scenario where you'll never have nice things. I'm going to put you in a scenario where you never have enough money, because that's what you're telling the universe you want.
The universe is activated upon your intent.
If you don't know what you want, then you say nothing and you do nothing and you stay still and you stay quiet. And if you're not ready for forgiveness, then you're not ready for forgiveness, and that's okay. Then you do nothing and then you say nothing, because that's no longer your story. So you don't tell that story. Even if it happened, you don't have to tell it. It doesn't make you a bad person because you omit things in your life because you want to change those things in your life. And until you learn how to change those things in your life, sometimes it's better to say less. And that's what Frank and I are learning. In the beginning, when this was happening, Frank and I were like, oh my God, the universe is such a big place. The more you do this and the more you raise your vibration and your frequency, the more you realize the universe is a very small place and the world becomes a very small place. Because now
you're the creator of all. You're the all. Of course, it should feel within reach.
But you realize that anything you do with your mind really affects your reality.
Yes, you need to crack that.
You have to control your mind.
That's why I was saying, how many synchronicities do you need to have to line up with your woman or your friend that you're saying the same thing? Is a coincidence? Well, if it happened 50 times in a day, is that enough?
Right.
If it happens 3 times, is that enough? If it happens 3 times, 3 times, 3 times, 3 times, and then again on a Saturday night during the show.
Right.
How many times?
Now you've made it your reality.
That's you breaking through
now
and
you
showing
brought it in
you and you
as your reality. If you're in a relationship and you're worried about someone cheating on you and that's all you have on your mind, what's going to happen? Someone is going to cheat on you because the universe is going to say, okay, this is what you want. We're going to put you in scenarios where this is what's going to happen to you. Because when you want someone not to do something or you want someone to do something, the worst thing you can do is think about that thing you don't want them to do, because they're going to do more of what you don't want them to do, because that's what you're putting out in the universe. So you have to stop all that. You have to stop all that. And you have to quiet your mind. And you have to really think about what you want and what you don't want. And you have to figure out how to get there from where you are. Because we always start from where we are. Okay. We don't start the diet on Monday. Okay. We don't start saving at the end of the week or after the holidays or after we buy this major, this high ticket item. And then I'm going to start saving. You start from where you are. Okay. Like with Buddy, we had to start from where we were. This is what was presented. This is the responsible thing to do. This is what's going to come next. Okay. And everything else has to line up so that I am available to give this animal the care that he needs. Okay. But you're going to do that in your life with whatever it is, because that's what you do. Once you make a conscious decision, you make more conscious decisions that line you up for the things that you want, that put you in line for the things that you want, and less in line for the things that you don't want anymore. You don't want to be around people that are going to bring you down. You don't want to be around people that are dark. Don't be around them.
Stop hanging out with those people.
Listen to your gut. We talked about it in the beginning of the show. If you get a funny feeling, then listen to what your body is saying. It's like what we said earlier. We've said this in previous shows too. Everyone, when you have a headache, everyone runs to take an aspirin or to take a pain reliever. So instead of taking 2 minutes and sitting still with your body and saying, why do I think my head hurts? Maybe I just need a glass of water. Maybe I'm dehydrated. Maybe I'm hungry. But we automatically go for the pain reliever because we want the pain reliever to do its job, instead of listening to our bodies and letting our body do the job and saying, you need a glass of water. When was the last time you drank a glass of water? You've been walking around with a bottle of water. It still has water in it. Maybe take a sip. I do that all the time. I walk around with a glass of water. Frank says you're always walking around with a glass of water. But
I can't see how you're ever dehydrated.
Yeah, but some days I don't I don't drink from it. I just carry the glass around with me, and I had to be aware of that. But this is how it is for life. What you want, you pull in, whether you're conscious of it or not. But we manifest in our minds and in our hearts. So we have to be very clear about what we want, because what we want, we're going to get, whether we like it or not. So you have to really think, and you have to sit and be still. And like Frank says, meditate. Meditate doesn't mean still your mind. Your mind will never be 100% still. Meditate means getting yourself in a place where you can be calm for at least 5 minutes. Yeah, that's what I started doing. I cut my Advil usage too. I still have the same bottle from last year. We have to actually throw it away at the end of the year if we don't use it. But we started doing the same thing. The stretching videos, we started doing those stretching videos. There's only 2 up on the playlist because we only got through 2 of them. But things like that, if you just listen to your body and ask your body what it's feeling, it'll tell you. It really will tell you, and I can say these things because I've been through them, and I've shared pretty much everything that I've been through with you people. You know that I have no problem with transparency. You have a question, I will give you an answer. But you have to learn to quiet your mind and really know where the thoughts are coming from, because 50% of what we think are not our own thoughts. And I mean that. So we have to use discernment, because if something's eating at you and making you feel guilty about something in your life, or making you feel you're not worthy about something in your life, you have to really figure out if it's coming from you or if it's coming from an outside source. And if it's coming from an outside source, you have to shut that shit down now. That's what I have to say about that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty potent. SuperCharged Paula. Welcome back to the show.
Kicked in.
Yeah. All right. That's awesome. One of the other things that supercharged me to jump out of my body was being with our alone time. I know you get nervous when I talk about this, but knocked me out of my body again. It was like the engine that takes you to the moon, right? But I was able to access the exact same thing through love, through cannabis, and through my emotional output and a little help from your vibration and your frequency, so I can push up and push out. No, it is not easy. I think Dawn put it, she didn't expect it to be this hard. But remember this, everything is measured by that, the opposite reaction. There's the action and reaction.
Yeah.
So if it's dark as it gets, is as light as it can get. Okay. And
Yeah,
both
equal and opposite reaction.
So when you're
Yeah.
like, wow, look how
Mhm.
dark everything is.
Yeah.
Remember how much light can show up in that situation like that. All it takes is one push of the thought for it to go out, and it starts sprinkling out. And then unaware, beknownst to anyone standing there, and then boom, light comes shining in, because it was enough to tip into the balance, because source is trying to see how dark is the dark, but how light is the light. Like, it's going back and forth because it's both. It allows the darkness, and the darkness isn't evil. It's what's inside of it that does whatever it does. It's the stuff that's in the light that does stuff that does what it does. It
Right.
allows the free will to just go do it. Do what you got to do. But they're still in an experiment, watching, going, okay, it will go X, Y, and Z so far. It's gone so far. It's gone to a limit of karma. The wheel is non-fixable, right? If everyone would fix their own, that's one thing. But we have more, there's dark magic and a lot of other things going on involved that just screwed up the whole thing. So it's like, wow, we're just going to, right? You have to absolve your stuff and forgive your stuff. You still got to go through that. But the karma wheel,
But that's why I say start where
Starts to
you
get-
are, because you know
you can instantly stop it from smashing you
you can wake up
just by starting right
you
there.
can do your meditation in your bed before you get up in the morning, and you can wake up and hear the birds chirping, and you can get up and you can stub your toe, and then your day is ruined because you allowed that act to ruin your day. Because basically it's us, right? Like us, right? I wake up before Frank, and I'm always in a good mood. Even when I'm in a bad mood, I'm in a good mood because I'm just happy I woke up. Where Frank, on the other hand, is like, the light, the coffee's not this, this, that. You know, he used to be like that a while ago. And at that moment, I can allow his bad mood to change my good mood. Or I can say, at that moment, we're allowed to be in two separate spaces. I'm allowed to be in a good mood, and I am worthy of a good mood because I woke up in a good mood. And you're not going to change my mood because you're in a bad mood. That's when self-worth comes in. And you say, at that moment, I am worthy of being in this good mood. And, you know, whatever is going on with you, we are not in the same frequency right now. And that is okay. But I am worthy of feeling the way I do right now. And it's taking that moment of worth, even if it is only a moment or 10 seconds or 20 seconds or 30 seconds, and saying, I'm worth it. And that doesn't mean I have to go buy myself something expensive or indulge or splurge. It's just saying that I am happy right now in this moment, and I'm not going to let you shit on my moment because I'm happy, because I'm worth it. And it starts right there. And then you take it from there. And there are some days, and I talk about it, if you can check the previous shows, where I take it 1 hour at a time because it's such a bad day. And I don't know what's going to happen. I can have a setback. I can have a revelation. You know, you've been there too. You take it 1 hour at a time.
Sometimes in that darkest moment,
Yeah.
the revelation just comes screaming through.
Right.
Well,
And
then
then-
I guess I got to just do
And
this
then
to
it's
help
okay.
myself.
And then I find a way to pick myself up off the floor, and I find a way to get into the shower, and I find a way to brush my teeth, and I find a way to get dressed, and I find a way to go on in that moment. And you know what? The next hour may suck, but the hour after that may be great, you know? And then the day is over, and then the next day starts, and I decide how that day is going to go, you know? And maybe this day is better. Maybe a couple of hours go by and I'm good and I don't have to start from the beginning again. But if I do, I don't beat myself up about it. I go, okay, here we are at the beginning again. Now it starts from 1. Okay, because we're not going to go back. It's not like Alcoholics Anonymous, where you don't get your chip at the end of 30 days if you didn't do everything you were supposed to. Here, you just start from where you are. Okay, I had a fumble, I messed up, but now I'm on track. I'm starting right from where I am. It doesn't matter that the last 4 hours were terrible. It's finding yourself, gaining composure, and pulling yourself together and saying, okay, here is where I am now, and here is where I'm starting from. Frank and I were before this all happened, after the cleaning and everything, we were making cupcakes because we want to do a holiday cupcake for the family. So we started, and I had 24 cupcakes. I was making caramel. We were going to make a marshmallow icing, and none of that happened. And I think Paula ate like 9 cupcakes because of stress. No, yeah, but I got you beat because I think I ate double the amount you ate. And you know what? Okay, I'm starting from here. By tomorrow, there'll be no cupcakes left, and I don't have to worry about eating any cupcakes because they'll already be gone. And I start from there, and that's what you have to do sometimes. Frank says 10% a week or 10% a day. Sometimes that's an impossibility. Sometimes it's getting through 1 hour at a time. And if that's what you have to do, then that's what you have to do. And sometimes you can have a great week or a great month or a great year. But you know what? They're moments. They're moments in time. That's what they are. Good moments, bad moments, shitty moments, frustrating moments. My kid, like this is my kid, or this is my animal, or this is my life. This is my lover. Yeah, it is. So it's moment by moment. This is my ass. I don't recognize this ass in the mirror. Whose ass is this? Moment by moment. This is what it is. I did that the other day. I walked past the living room mirror and I went, oh, whose ass is that? And I went, oh my God, that's your ass.
It's mine.
Whatever. But that's the way it is. You just start from where you are. You start from where you are because you don't know. We were talking about, Frank and I watch all these cooking shows, and I was talking to Frank's grandfather about one of the cooking shows, and I love it. They make the contestants cook an egg and chop an onion. It's a MasterChef, Gordon Ramsay MasterChef, because if you can't cook an egg and chop an onion, you shouldn't want to be
MasterChef.
And it's simple tasks like that. Everyone wants to make a great dish, but if you don't know how to chop an onion or chop garlic or cut a potato, you're not eating anything, so like it's all baby steps, but that's what it is.
Yeah. Just
and learning
10% a week.
And learning. Think about all the programming, think about all the relationships, think about all the ups and downs. Just that you go through just in your mind before a question is even formed. All the controversy that goes through that you go through in your head just before you ask one question. It's like they're landmines, and we have to learn how to navigate them in life.
Yes. And it
yeah.
You got to start just moving that needle
a little bit.
That's
the
all
opposite
it takes.
way.
There is no pill you're going to take for this. You could drink ayahuasca as much as you want, but anyone and everyone that has done it will tell you you're going to put in the work because it's worth it to do it. And if you don't, you'll just be repeating the loop, and that's it.
But that's it.
Yeah,
and I don't want to do that anymore.
It'll always be a woe is me
I don't want to
moment,
do that anymore.
or a victim standpoint until you come online and say, you know what, like I don't want to pay a guy to come in to change the light in the bathroom. If I see 2 screws and then 3 wires hooked up, what I got to pay you $120 for to come in and do this, plus this and that, and before you know it, it's $500. Oh, it's $1,000 because unscrew the thing, take it off, to watch a video,
YouTube.
Take a look, put it back on, reconnect the piece, buy a new one, put the new one up, do it yourself if you don't want to wait, right? But I could sit here and bang my head on the wall all day. Now, look, all I'm saying is, so I want to bring it out again into that magic fantastical. So on these levels, that's where it is, right? We're in this problematic area. But on the other end, you want aliens and UFOs and all kinds of other things. How can you bring yourself into the realization of that if you can't forgive yourself for stuff, right? You can't love yourself to move forward, but you want the other thing to come in now that is even more freaky and fantastical, and that's going to somehow make things in your crazy hectic life even better.
Because
or is it just another distraction?
It is, and it's better than the distraction that they're dealing with now, right?
Right, but
so it's better. So it's like
so you're just looking to the new greatest
it's
distraction.
like watching a car crash, right? Like you're on the highway and people bottleneck because they want to see the accident,
the train wreck, yeah.
The train wreck, right? It's a bigger distraction than what you're dealing with now. Okay. And it might be a more appealing distraction than what you're dealing with now.
I always find myself in a way of saying, hey, you want that, but you're not willing to do this for yourself, but that's what you want. Like, what makes you think you're going to handle beings on that level if you can't even handle yourself?
Right. You can't handle a panic attack here.
Yeah.
You want to see.
You can't say no to the dummy that's been causing you pain this whole time. You can't say no. What makes you think a hyper intelligent and vast intergalactic interdimensional being even wants to talk to you or show itself to you?
Right.
Why would it want to?
Right.
You're not actually bringing anything to the table.
You're not a good enough human specimen
for the other stuff at that point.
Get your shit together first.
Yeah, like
they don't want to deal with your mess either.
Yeah, and they're not going to save you. What do you think? There's going to be yeah, like they're going to come in and go, oh, well, we'll fix that problem. Well, I'm really angry at my dad because I think he's a real dick. And it's like, well, that meeting me is not going to change that. And you're never going to come up out of that. It's not like you're going to become a rock star and turn into an international fame and fortune person because you decided to go with ET and stuff. That doesn't work.
Right.
You'll just be food.
Yeah.
Or cannon fodder.
I just want to navigate through my life. Like I really, without crying, I just want to get through. I just
need to make it through till tomorrow.
So I can start again. And that's how I think most people feel. They just want to get through their lives and the least painful way. And it's that programming. It's knowing how to identify the distractions and not letting them be a distraction for you.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. It's easy.
Let me freak out everyone with another distraction though, because on that layer, on that level, right, we have reptilians and all kinds of other stuff, right? Well, this was sent to me by one of the FearLess family members, Anthony, right? Shout outs. Let's see. Okay, wait, I gotta bring it on here. Share screen. So we want to be willing to we want to hear stories about this. We want it to be in the greater consciousness, and people have a hard time with the inner work. Okay, take a look at that photograph. I mean, that picture, that drawing, that is of a reptilian it's the lizard man attacking the Christopher Davis sighting. Okay, you go on YouTube and find it in there. Maybe I'll provide a link and then you can check it out for yourself. Now, this happened in South Carolina, around the area. I don't remember the area off the top of my head, but I did look it up and it was pretty close to where we were in Fairplay, South Carolina. Okay. The guy specifically saw this, and that is one of the better drawings I've ever seen of what they look like. It literally, they look like that. I would say a little more muscular, but you can see that it's muscular. Picture that like 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Right. But you don't want to. I know. It's crazy, right?
Car.
Well, listen, this incident, it chases him down the road and jumps on the hood of his car.
Right.
And it starts tearing into the roof of his car.
Right.
Then jumps off. He gets scared, gets away. There's photographs and everything.
Right.
And there's pictures. Once again, in the area. We talked about, we went down there for the eclipse.
It was rough.
And they have signs.
They have signs. They
Okay.
have signs, and look, I didn't see them, but I saw the outlines and I heard them and I felt them. The day it was time for us to leave, I wanted to go down to the lake to say goodbye and thank you. And they were like, no, you're not, just go home. It's time for you to go. They did not want us there anymore. And you know, when you get that feeling that you're not welcome, then you should leave, because you're truly not welcome in any situation.
Just once again, I just want to show from different directions that this stuff is out there. It's as real as it is.
Yeah.
Right. To those people, it's 100% real.
Oh, I have no doubt.
And they're there. So you want that,
right,
and you want to be able to deal with that. You have to first walk through your own stuff.
Yeah, your own fear. Your own fear. A lot of your own fear is tied to that fear. You don't even realize it, but you got to walk through your own fear first, because that's what all that programming is from when you were little. And, you know, your parents didn't know any better. They were programmed from what they were taught by their parents. You know, everyone thinks it's the way things have been done, so it's the way things will be done. And, you know, there are better ways to do things now. And, you know, breaking that, you feel guilty. You feel like you're breaking tradition. You feel like you're betraying family. But you know what? The old ways don't work anymore. You know, it's a different world. You know, there's too much information being shared too quickly. Nothing is a secret any longer. You know, I mean, it's not like it was long ago. You know, the government said this is good for you, and everyone said, okay, let's do it. You know, and we're finding out that none of it was true. None of it from the beginning was true.
None of it was true. It was all a lie. And
you
at the base of the lie.
But if you bring it up, you know,
snake.
you're risking being you're risking being ostracized for it. Like if you give your true opinion on vaccines or the flu shot or anything that's happening in you know, with medicine, you know, everyone has an opinion, and everyone's opinion is based on something different. You know, based on what they hear, what they know. You know, a lot of people don't read articles. They skim the headlines. You know, I was a headline skimmer for a long time. You know, you skim the headlines and you think you have all the information, but you didn't read the article, so you don't really know. Or you don't allow anyone's point of view in. And then that's the problem.
Yes.
Or you ostracize them for their point of view.
And we all play the game with the crab in the buckets, pulling each other back down.
You know, that's life. We're all crabs in a bucket, trying to get out and making things better. That's our job, trying to get out and make things better. Okay, why is that so difficult? Ask yourself. It's meant to be that difficult. The distractions are meant to keep you in the bucket, because if you're in the bucket struggling to get out, you're not looking at what's outside of that bucket. You're not looking at the beautiful life that you could have that's outside of that bucket that may be a little different than everyone says it should be. You know, Frank and I are in a 1-bedroom apartment, but I was talking to my sister on the phone the other day. This is my favorite place I've ever lived. My favorite place I've ever lived, and I'm 47 years old. It's just the way it is. Why? Because it's the combination. It's me and Frank and all these crazy animals. And it just works. For us, it works. That's the way it is.
You know what's really wild? I keep thinking about like how crazy these things are, and how crazy it is and how psychotic it is to walk through our own stuff, and then boom, that's on the other side, and it's like raw.
That came through the kitchen.
Right?
Do you remember?
Yes.
There's a portal. So in our apartment, and we've spoken about this on previous episodes. So there's a portal. Our front door is a portal, and you know, we were sitting in the house one day and something ran through and pushed, like it ran through and it pushed me and Frank and the cats out of the way. And I saw the outline. I don't actually see the entities, Frank does, but I saw the outline. And then there was another time they were walking through. Lizard men were actually walking through. And it was almost like the veil was dropped. And they accidentally saw us. And they weren't supposed to see us, but they accidentally did. And then one of them were saying, don't look, keep walking.
Yeah, mind your
Mind
stuff.
your business, keep walking.
There was
Because
a
I
smaller
think,
one telling one of the big ones
Yeah.
looking at me like, "What is that?" And he was like, "Just keep walking.
And
Don't even look at him."
and I think the veils dropped, that something happened because there is a portal here. And they got to see us kind of the way Frank sees them. Sometimes it's an accident. And
Yeah, I felt like it was very like we were both sides of that coin were experiencing that
because,
filtering where we're both staring at each other like, what the hell is this?
Like, what's going on? Because I think they, I really think, when we do get a glimpse at the other side, you have to take it from their perspective also. We don't know if they are aware that we're here. You don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on
because
out there.
There's programming going on everywhere. So you don't know what they've been programmed to think about us. So,
well, we're just reporting to Dawn what we're seeing, right? So I know for those that don't see,
and like I said, I don't see anything.
Those that cut the swath through the bushes, right? Like Terrence McKenna was like, "Oh, it's the object at the end of time, and you got to pull that and bring it out with you, and all this." We all went through our stage just to realize that thing at the end of time was programmed to be there. You're not supposed to grab it and bring it out. It's like an attractor to that you're running towards, thinking that's God or something or whatever, to keep you running, chasing it, and you're always like, "Oh," and the carrot's on the string in front of you, and you're pulling it, and he's going, "Well, you need to get it, man, and you need to bring it back," right? And then just for us to go in there and go, "Yeah, don't pay attention to that. That's nonsense. You need to step out of time," right? So it's the next step, and then someone else will come and go, "Do you know from the outside of the sphere of time, you can do this," right? So it just it echoes. We echo off each other.
So put that question up. The
hold on, this one.
Yeah, that one. So I've never seen it personally, but I have gotten a feeling that I wasn't talking to someone that is human quite a few times. And
this happened in front of us 100 times. I'll use Alexia as the example when she was purging the entity back and forth. She'd go from the
but you said I didn't see it.
Yeah, but her physicalness was that of the monster and the demon, and then or the entity, and then back to, "Whoa, it's just me again," and then back into that, and then whoa, as the purge was occurring, it was like disrupting the frequency, and then you'd see the monster, and you'd go back and forth, but physically on her face would be, "Rah, no, I'm fine, really, it's okay. I don't know what that is. I don't even know what. Rah, oh my God, did you see that? It was a spider with legs, and it shot up to the wall, and then rah, you're back again, and it's
right." But I don't see it like that.
Yeah, but you saw the physical face and her screaming.
No, I did see her screaming, but I didn't see you.
Are you understanding what I'm saying to you?
Totally.
If I screamed in your face right now, rah, you'd go, "Frank's screaming." If I went, "Oh, I love you, Paula," you'd be like, "Wow, he's transforming back and forth into two different people."
Totally.
That is what I'm talking about on the physical level. No, I know. I just want to. And then on the other level, I'm actually seeing the spider jump, but then, you're under ayahuasca. We're doing all different kind of things to get to the point now where I'm just seeing that, but all I'm saying is we're cutting the swath through to let you know that's what there. We can only talk about our experiences. I can't go for definite sure, well, this happens everywhere, and every time you do it, that's going to happen, because that's a load of malarkey. You're going to wind up going in and something different will happen. New experience, a new way, a different thing. And then we just report out on it. That's the purpose of this, is to do that. So then you'll hear it and go, "Well, that's interesting." And then maybe you'll have an experience and witness something slightly, maybe somebody's getting drunk, right?
Right.
And they go from, "Hey, it's great to see you," to, "Hey, let's go punch someone in their face."
That's easy to see.
And you can't break them out.
There's alcohol
that's
involved,
the same
you
thing.
See the change right away.
But that's the entity. As you're drinking the alcohol, you're lowering your shields basically, and it's just coming in.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
yeah, absolutely. Same thing with drug abuse. Same thing. You can see it. You can see the veil drop. You could totally see
like the functioning stoners or drug addicts.
No. I don't even mean that. I mean like hardcore.
Shift.
You could yes, you can see the other vehicle take over.
Right. So yeah, you do see it. And a lot of times I would guarantee that what we're watching or seeing is those things. And you're just like, "Well, that guy got pissed and did some crazy stuff." And at this level, we're going, "Yeah, well, he might have had a little help getting pushed that direction."
Right.
And a lot of people are screaming MK Ultra stuff and everything, and that's all there. They're just the MK Ultra guys are just relying on your fractal. They just fractal you one more time, and then they do this to activate that specific fractal. So you just go do the switch, right? And you'll go, well, it's a demon. Well, it might be when you hit the switch, the demon comes in, but it could just be the fractal. They're accessing that point of view because you're everything. They know you're everything. They know how to just access that one thing. And it's like, well, oh, then I'm that one thing. And it's like, no, you're not the one thing. You're the everything. And just that thought can overcome and override them going, make them be that one thing. And it's like, nope, programming broke. You guys are about to catch beatings. Right. That's how you have to do it. Because on the weirdo level, check it out. On the super high level, those guys, the reptilian I just showed you, those things are scared of you. Right? They eat you. They eat your energy, etc. Fine. They farm you. They keep you distracted. Okay, that's great. Why is the trick so big? And why do they stick to it so hard? Because if you slip out of their trap, one of us, full activated light being, is too much for everyone, right? So would you mess with Prime Creator, right? You're tricking the creator, helping by distracting him or her into thinking something other than what's true. Right? If that trick fails and all those programmings break, you're invulnerable, invincible, immortal, infinite. What is that thing going to do? Nothing. They could play gang pile on you like in Infinity War when they jumped on Spider-Man, he activated kill mode. Right. You'll just activate and start smacking them. Literally, they'll be like, and you won't feel any pain.
But your fear takes over, and then hormones are given off.
That's
and then like the cats, when we tried to catch the cats to bring them to get spayed and neutered, they emit this smell before they get caught. It's fear.
It was so I couldn't get it off my arm.
You can smell it. Like you have to shower because it's this fear. It's like an oily residue and an odor, and it's just fear. So and we emit it too when we're afraid. But just as we emit odors of fear, we emit odors of happiness and love and other things. But those entities, that's what they're eating off of. They're eating off of your fear. And they want to keep you in a sense of perpetual fear about something, because that's their food. That's what they're eating. They're eating that energy. You're supplying that energy. It's like that movie Monsters Inc. You know, it's like a fear meter, but they didn't realize if happiness, happiness created more energy than fear, but it's the same thing. They're eating that energy. So, if they can keep you in a fear spiral, afraid about something, afraid about getting cancer, afraid about being left alone, afraid of any fear, then that's the energy that they're eating off of you. And that's why they stay with you. If they can
knock you into just having the thought of being
perpetual fear.
Yeah. Like whatever it is, they'll just keep whittling it away until they catch you off guard for a second. Like, ooh, I was nervous about that. Boom, there they are. It's like, what are you nervous about? What'd you get nervous about again? You're nervous about sharks. You live in the Bronx.
Right.
Come on. Right. So think about this. You're going to be anywhere near that water? Are you going on vacation anytime soon? No. Well, what do you care? Well, they're big. They have teeth and they like to eat people. It's like, okay, well, it's natural. And there's way worse things out there. And you're the creator and you're immortal, infinite, indestructible.
Exactly. If you're afraid of elevators,
you created it. It's you know what I'm saying? Like it's the whole thing. And then you go, oh, I get it. I get it. Right. So then when you're in fear, all those things rush in and attack you. The sharks bite you and you're like, oh, the pain. Under Ire, they were showing this to me. They made me witness every version of shark, then anything with teeth that was remotely terrible to look at. And then the worst thing that you can possibly see with teeth that in the universes that you'd be like, oh, well, that's just terrible across the board. Well, I had to sit in front of that with the teeth going and everything. And they said to me, are you scared? And I said, no, why would I be scared of that? And they're like, well, it's literally the scariest thing with teeth, period. And then I was like, okay. And then the sharks came in and I wasn't scared. And then something happened and they all started attacking me. And as they were biting me, I was like, you have a choice. Am I going to be in fear? That fear, oh, they're biting me and they're attacking me, makes it hurt all of a sudden. Right? You're adding to this weird situation. You're like, oh, but you're immortal. You're the light being and they're biting you. and then you go, oh, it doesn't hurt. You realize they're eating negative stuff away from you,
because you're triggering
and
those
it doesn't
pain
hurt. It feels good.
receptors.
Thank you, my sharks, my family. Big difference. It's the same situation, different perspective. And then all of a sudden they rally to you. They're like, we're with you. Etherically, we're with you. The energy comes in. I'm not afraid of sharks. I actually ride in on them on battle. What do you
Right.
want to do? Meet my crew. I got an orcapod. What do you want to do about it? Right? You start going, what is this ridiculous guy speaking about? Right? And when the sharks are too much and it's too aggressive and I can't get them to stop, I call the orcas in. Yo, guys, could you help me out of this? I'm removing the fear. I can't handle the situation and I'm still out of fear.
You're
Now
asking
I'm
for
going
help.
to create something that is going to remove whatever this is. Right? And that's it. It literally works like that. You decide when you're like using your discernment going, well, is this all a hologram? Am I hallucinating? I'm not with this. I don't kind of like this. I'm not digging it. And all the pain stops. The suffering stops. Everything just dead stops. Boom, done. And you're looking like, well, I was just upset about, and I was scared for,
Right.
wait, I've been here since the beginning. Like the beginning.
So stop.
So stop with the nonsense.
Enough time has passed.
Right.
Stop.
And then you come up. Now that thought builds and builds and builds into this. Now it could go hubristically. I'm God. Meh. I'm above you. Meh. No, we're all connected. Nobody's above anyone. I see in you the creator, the source of everything. Now everyone's got free will and has the ability to do what they want. What they do after that is on them. Right. And that's it. Plain, simple, to the point. The harder and crazier this gets, the simpler the lessons are. Well, just don't do that. It's like, well, getting there and then the details and it's don't do it.
Don't do it.
What are you doing it for? But you don't understand. If I don't do it, then
what happens? What happens? Does the world end? No.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. What happens? What happens?
Everything just keeps moving. Nothing ends. No, it's just you doing that to imposing it on yourself.
Do you want to?
No, this is where we were going to call it a beautiful ending, but I do want to do a shout out.
Go ahead.
I want to shout out my brother, Robert Hawley. So for those of you that aren't in the FearLess group, I do suggest you coming on over, catching out the meditations.
Oh yeah, he's the best.
I love his little 2, 3, 4 minutes. He really gets you going. He's a sun in the sky for sure. I love that guy. I love everything about him. Higher frequency, that and a slew of others that have been going live. The FearLess family. So to get to the group, right there, you go. Right, Facebook.com/groups/the FearLess family. But just remember, if you're going to try to join, you want to click in and you want to be part of that fun and you want to be in the family because you're feeling it. Don't forget to answer the question. Right? I appreciate that so much. If you just answer that question, so I don't have to argue with you. I could just let you in because it's awesome. And this is what we do. Little extra information. Bitcoin, buy the dip. I'm telling you right now, buy in the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. This is a public service announcement. Buy the dip.
$25.
You could just really turn your future into something beautiful.
Invest
and just enjoy the ride for the long haul.
$10
and
just do it
and just share the wealth and knowledge as it pours out from every direction. We're going into a place that the darkness isn't going to be able to handle. They ain't going to be able to hang. Lizard men ain't going to be able to stand around, put fingers in your butt anymore. You're going to be really good. But to get there, we got to do the
fingers in the butt.
I was going to say something else, but I decided not to curse.
Thank you.
I had to slip some stuff out. I push it, but I don't want to push you into, but do the right thing for yourself. You'll be doing the right thing. Trust me.
So you're easing us in.
I'm easing you.
Oh, look at
Even Parker knows. Parker's like, get Bitcoin. Right. So, and remember to stay fearless, and the universe rewards bravery. Everyone, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you for the donations.
Thank you for the donations. Thank you just for being you. Thank you for spending your time with Parker, me, and my etherical translator. We love you guys so much. You have any questions, comments, please let us know. Remember to smash the like button. Let me touch it like this. Put it over and over. Get that little bell. There's like a Taco Bell. Tab that thing right there, right? That'll let you know. It'll alert you to when I'm around, right? So like, subscribe, share, and My ethereal translator agrees.
Yep. I agree.
Everybody stay fearless. Love you guys.
Oh.
Get out of my head. Get into my car.
Sandwich.